Straightforward.
Hello and welcome to our weekly anti-SJW circle jerk. Well, it's Gangbang now. It's not circle jerk anymore because we leveled up, as we do. Slaughtered. So let's see. Today we're joined by Arnold, Kek,
Heyo.
Bethy,
Sup?
Broken House Liberal,
Hello.
Bristol Philosopher,
Sup?
Black Lord of Fenrir.
It is a pleasure to be here.
And I'm your host, Shitlord and Savior. It's my privilege as always.
Shitlord and Savior. I never thought of that one.
Oh yeah, that was quite a week, right? And it's,
Well, just 2 days ago, there was the attack in London.
Oh yeah, it's another bomb of peace this time.
Yeah, and I think they were speaking about a lot of burned people, so I guess it was more incendiary than explosive.
Yeah. So
The London Tube is like, yeah, maybe it's a resurgence of the IRA, but
you're right.
my guess is that it's they're not the drunk ones.
Yeah. I think it's this I stands for Islamic, right?
Huh?
I in the IRA stands for Islamic.
Now, yes.
Islamic Republic.
Islamic Republican Army.
And yeah, so obviously, pretty much we can guess who it was, and yeah, as Mayor of London said, it's part and parcel of living in a big city now.
Yeah, Mr. Khan. Khan.
Yeah, it's like this is. I'm sorry that I'm probably sounding like some, some right-wing blowhard, but this is what you get when you allow yourself to be cucked.
Yeah.
And the police is preoccupied with arresting people for saying unauthorized opinions online and for having.
Gangbang went to court this week.
Arresting people for not using the proper pronouns.
No, jeez.
Pronouns are now violence.
That's a punishable offense in Canada.
That's the sad part.
Really? I don't remember what's the punishment, though.
Punishment is one night in bed with Justin Trudeau.
Ooh. That's a good thing to prevent people from doing it.
I don't understand why people find adopted. Hi, Misty.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, sorry, I'm late.
Hello.
Didn't see the link.
Hello. So since we're talking about pronouns, let me show something. What I call be careful what you wish for. So you probably know Zinnia Gold. If you don't know, she's she's a great lol cow on Twitter. One of SJW. She's a trans and she has some really hot takes. For example,
oh yeah, her. Yeah.
Once she said that something about that. Islam is not homophobic, so someone posted a picture of ISIS members throwing gays off building, and she said that they were trying to prevent suicide.
What?
Well, yeah.
We'll prevent suicide by committing homicide.
Exactly. They can't commit suicide if you kill them first. It's just the black guy.
As Satan Atheist said, remember this video? Got him actually banned on YouTube, but then he got unbanned. So she was in the news again. She got me blocked, so I haven't seen it before. I just saw someone retweet it. But well, she said this, and this is. This is the case of be careful what you wish for, because on the same day I saw this, I actually also saw this news story being shared, And
I think this came after. She said it afterwards, I think.
Gangs of trans women beating transphobes.
Pretty much.
Well,
Yes. Trans activist men beat dissenting 60-year-old woman. So it's like TERFs against what's the opposite of TERF? TIRF, trans inclusive radical feminist or something. Remember this
they
meme?
literally just say tolerant transgender activist beats up 6-year-old woman. They literally just say that there.
And,
Is it even clear that she was a TERF? Like, it seemed like they were just beating her up because she was filming.
I don't know.
that's what the article says. It's like when there's like different types of social justice warriors beat each other. I imagine this with the grumpy cat. I hope both teams lose.
Aye.
Live stream yesterday, and we were covering Josh Ewing, and he's interesting. Very interesting.
If there was absolutely no way for collateral damage, it's like, okay, the wrong people are just property. It's like, I just say, let them fight and deal with the winner. Let them kill themselves.
Yeah.
They're just dealing with each other, but we know that those.
If it was if it was an ideal world, I would. But
They're taking one pretty much. Yes, let's see what the article says. So it was in London on Wednesday night. 60-year-old UK woman Maria was attacked by a male transgender activist while she was videotaping protests as speakers. So yeah, it's not even clear she was there to protest or just to film. Because no,
Excuse me.
not like you're filming. You must be against it.
Well, again, their mantra is: if you see someone you don't like, attack on sight, or I'm sorry, defend on sight.
Department of Defense, folks. Department of Defense.
So the discussion, which included guest speakers Miranda Yardley, a writer who identifies as transsexual, and Dr. Julia Long, a lesbian feminist, was eventually relocated but cut short due to protests outside the event. For Mark Larkin account, which is backed by video evidence, 60-year-old was first attacked by a transgender activist who attempted to steal her camera. So the scuffle of the camera broke out. Another trans activist ran over and punched the 60-year-old before others piled on. So there's a video actually of that. Let's take a look at the video. And the captions of the video they're just.
So my nan is 70 years old. My nan is 70 years old, and I've seen her beat up. Well, more like hit with her stick. 3 grown men.
Oh.
Just. No, but these three grown men called her a bitch. That's the reason.
They call her a fucking bitch.
I was just in the background, just going like, "They're a bitch."
Too bad that the camera isn't stabilized very well because, well, you could see how it's going to be.
It also slows it down for you in the replay.
You can see
Da,
it.
da, 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 da.
The stabilization is really bad. It's really jerky. So it's typical Antifa style tactic.
This fucking song.
Oh, there it is.
There he is.
I've become so numb.
No, at least it's a smaller one, not a full professional big camera.
Yeah, that would have been.
Oh, I would have murdered the fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like when turfs attack, we fight back. Not turfs who attack.
Yeah, we don't even know if it's a turf. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, she could be a turf. She could be just a Nazi. She could be mentally
She could be a normal
retarded.
feminist.
Well, it's but they didn't attack. It's the trans activists who attacked. Oh,
Yeah, they
But
were the
mostly-
aggressors.
They attack. They protect.
No, but they justify everything as self-defense. That's the
Yeah.
Wars of violence.
Everything is words are violence.
you showing up is violence.
Well, yeah, sure, yeah, showing up in a car and just ramming everyone, that's violence.
Lunch.
Uh,
It's in.
at least they should be glad that those like trans activists are fucking bitches. Because look at this fight. You know, it fights like a fucking bitch. Look at this.
Bitch.
How many of them are there? And she's still managing to hold them off.
Slappity,
She's this
slappity.
fucking 60-year-old woman.
Like they show those really really bad comedies when they portray those really flamboyant gay characters. What kind of fighting is this?
It's the kind of fighting the gay boxer Fruit Punch would do.
Oh,
Well, this is a pathetic fight.
look at
Yeah,
that.
no, that's more pathetic than Fruit Punch.
Spy guy, like pants. Oh, what the fuck is this? Oh, like from like 80s aerobics channel or something.
It's just grappling, and it's not even like it's not actually.
Yeah, this looks like American football, basically.
Ouch. Yeah, especially when you know what rugby is.
Fuck.
Look at
I
this
can
face.
see why they thought they were trans.
Well, maybe they just said maybe they just took the bus and just like, yeah, now he's in transit.
Oh, God.
The master of bad puns. You can mail me a bomb. I don't care. I deserve it.
Excuse me.
And I take anthrax, bombs, threats.
We'll mail bongs.
No bombs.
Bong. I know.
I wonder
Mailing a bomb. Well, yeah, it's not.
they're no better. Yeah, it's Antifa. They're no better than five.
Pretty much.
Yeah, did these turfs ever have a regime that ended up, killing people?
No, I'm gonna commit suicide.
Just as bad.
Trans action for health.
Like this comment on Facebook, and later stated that they were proud of this action that had been taken, and repeating, "When turfs attack, we fight back."
Seriously,
Yeah,
this whole
wait
thing
back,
just
sure.
reminds me of certain emo lyrics.
I like the last word. This is terrorism. This is male violence. I wouldn't call this male.
Male violence.
I bet the video was made by a turf, though. That's probably why.
The way they were fighting is like,
Yeah, that is a very masculine way of fighting. Definitely male violence.
And
If
usually turfs are all women. At least those I've heard of.
Well, the thing is, if I can,
Yeah.
They're men hating too.
if I can fight more masculine than them, then that really says something about, I'm a very weak person.
We're all weak here. You don't have to be ashamed of it.
Yeah, but I'm a woman, so I'm the weakest of all.
Are there any midgets among us?
I mean, I'm like 5.
Well, we have a Jew. Does that count?
We had mental midget once on the show.
Yeah,
5'3".
Jackie Mason said, well, yeah, that would count because any Gentile who weighs over 200 pounds shouldn't have their fists because they could pound a little Jew boy into the dirt pretty easily. He was obviously joking, but yeah.
No, I thought you were totes serious.
I just wanted to show this tweet again. This is like the worst timing ever. Because as this story was unfolding, she posted this, and it was on September 14th. It was posted, but when did this happen? happened when?
Oh, yeah, no, yeah.
So just a few days ago.
Left wing trans squad.
It was like Wednesday was 13th, so it's pretty much the day after this happened. So it's the worst timing ever.
She looks like my year 7 bully. He was a man.
Well, I mean, she is trans, so maybe.
Yeah, that was before the transition.
Do that. And speaking of, I've seen a lot of really stupid shit said by Zine Jones, so it's not even the worst. She said, "Yeah, it's one of those hot takes." And also speaking of other hot takes, I'll kind of just ignore this elephant in the room, PewDiePie situation.
Oh,
Yeah, here we go.
He slipped. He slipped nigger. I mean, that's not. It's not a massive surprise if you've played any video game ever.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Dr. Lou.
Let's see.
YouTube.
You want to play it, or?
Don't say it. Hey, Lou.
Oh, let's
Good evening.
That's the question that got him into hot water. So it's not even. If you played online, you've called the nigger at least 100 times.
I think the best article was the one that was saying there are no heat of the moment in video games.
Oh my god.
Those people only plays like no, not even I would say platformers. There are platformers that are frustrating.
Yeah,
There
what
are
the fuck
heat of the moments and some.
Yeah, what the fuck do they play? Five Nights at Freddy's Candy Crush Saga?
I would go
pretty much.
Freddy and nigger.
I would love to see these guys play Crash Bandicoot, the first 3 games, which they consider to be worse than Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Really? True.
Yeah,
Yeah,
apparently.
I had 1 or 2 of them and
I've had the second one. I don't remember it being that difficult.
Jeez, oh my god.
So that's the moment.
Oh my god! I can't believe you said nigger. What a stupid nigger!
What a fucking...
Oh my god, the sky is falling, everyone.
Sorry, but what the fuck?
What a stupid nigger for saying the word nigger. Like fucking nigger. Stop it.
Hold up, love. Say nigger.
It's funny how everyone's outraged. They are all Americans, and they think that all the world is perceiving words exactly the same way they do, as if there's
Much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were telling us that last night.
I would like to solve the puzzle. Niggers. Oh, naggers.
Play any video game ever. It's like a multi video game ever. You're gonna hear nigger.
Online, yeah.
You're gonna hear a lot of unpleasant words.
You're gonna hear not a lot of niggers, but a lot of faggots.
Yeah.
Yeah, people
That you're
probably
gonna
say
hear the most.
yeah. Most people say
Faggot,
faggot more than
cunt.
nigger, and so
Dicks, dykes.
It's like
So
quote
on.
unquote.
No, everyone loves dice. So.
It's like quote unquote gamer girls. Says they're gamer girls, and they spend half the time just doing selfies with the controllers and then holding the controllers wrong. I'm just going like,
Oh, I have a lot of pictures, memes about that. Let me see.
yeah, and they're not even like the right consoles too. They're like they'll have like the 360 controller. I'm totally playing my PlayStation 4 right now.
Yeah.
oh,
Go home, gamer guy.
oh no.
Play some PS4. Yeah.
What a poser!
Good luck.
Why PS4 and you got an Xbox controller? What? Oh.
Probably your mom, because your mom always called every console a Nintendo.
Or a PlayStation.
That booty though.
Yeah, maybe
This has got to be a porno, right? This has to be from porn.
Yeah.
No, just
I don't even
Instagram.
think real gamers even wear those fucking hats when gaming.
Fallout Duty thing.
Yeah, my favorite game as well. And also this. Oh, by the way, this one is great. From this
Expectation, reality.
Yeah.
Also,
I think
wise man said once, "Be gone, God."
I think I've seen one where a girl
that
was
fucking
pulling the
meme,
disc
Beyond
the wrong
Thoughts?
way.
What does tots mean? I didn't get
That
the.
hoe over there.
No, don't fall, don't fall.
Ah.
That hoe over there. That's exactly what it means.
But she's already over there, so she's already kind of begun.
I caught my figurine by my thumb.
Near a bookcase or something.
By the way, this reminds me of the time when Sweden started changing bird names because they might be offensive.
Oh yeah.
And I'll post the link.
Oh, speaking of, I like this one as well. That's not how you're supposed to use it. Oh, there's something for a reason.
That's not how you use an S54 analog. Holy shit.
Well, that's one way
I
to
actually
not.
played the N64, believe it or not.
That's one way to not explode your palm.
I remember I went to someone's house and there was my friend and his friend's girlfriends and shit there. I don't even like. I wouldn't even call myself a fucking gamer because, to be honest, I'm not massively into it. I only have the few select games and that's it. That's it. But it's funny because I remember I was talking with my friends and then there's these girls going, oh my god, they're such gamers. They never played a single game.
Well, the study that I've seen, the article said it's like, oh yeah, I almost said the average gamer is a middle-aged woman. Of course, if you count Candy Crush and all those fucking mobile things that have barely more interactivity than a fucking slug, of course.
Yeah.
I remember my game design course I was kind of forced into because animation. No, I wouldn't do animation, but they forced me into game design instead because they're cunts. I only stayed there for 5 months, but it was funny because like the teachers were going on about our percentage of gamers, and I was like, "Holy shit, there's more women!" And then they said mobile games, and I was like, "Oh, you fucking cunts, you lied to me."
I mean, the other thing is, if you say that most gamers are middle aged, then what was all the Gamergate shit about? Literally, it undermines everything.
Especially, it's like, oh, majority of gamers are women. Again, it undermines all your points that you made before.
Right. Because they say that most of gamers are women, and yet gamers are trying to maintain it as a boys' club and prevent women from joining, and yet most of the gamers are women, despite all this destruction.
Yeah.
It's like which is it?
It's like when people say that Borderlands isn't female friendly.
Why?
Do you not know your audience?
It's like, oh, the game is not female friendly.
Yeah.
You basically, the only thing that you explode the whole game is men through ripped mans. There's like one girl that you shoot and she's the commander.
Yeah, it's like when Anita Keating was going on about fucking, what was it? Oh yeah, women's in blah blah blah. Women are skinny in video games, and I literally showed. I literally just showed
Ellie from Borderlands 2. Like, Jesus Christ, that girl is like 500 pounds.
Oh fuck yes!
But she seems pretty strong.
Voice, isn't she? Like, yeah, fucking. But I can't do it. Like, she had like a fucking truck of.
Peace.
Hey, what about Tiny Tina? I know that. I know the second one. Sorry.
Oh yeah, the girl. Oh shit.
Yeah. Did anyone play the third Spyro game?
Mm,
No.
no, I played
The
the first
third
two, but that's
Spyro?
about it.
Which one
Yeah,
is it?
Year of the Dragon.
No.
Well, the main villainess in that, the main villain in that is a woman, but yeah, she looks like I don't even know what the fuck she looks like, but yeah, she's pretty heavy.
Well, one of the good guys in Spyro is fat. So
Dark
Heavy
Souls.
bags.
In Dark Souls, you can pick a female character. If you put her in armor, you can't fucking tell the difference.
If I recall, there's a boss on Dead Rising who's a fat bitch.
Dead Rising 4, yeah, or 3, I don't remember. Yeah, on the scooter. Ah, Jesus Christ.
And you fight her.
She attacks you with a giant spork, and she
Yeah.
pukes everywhere.
How dare video games have tits in it? Oh, so
Oh yeah, no, there's another one. It's almost said crossfitting, bodybuilding woman. My name is Jerry with 2 eyes. And she got triggered because the protagonist accidentally called her a man.
I remember feminists getting riled up from this one sentence. I've got a new shiny meat bicycle. So that was, and feminists were really angry, saying it was something about his penis. It's like, no, the guy's insane. The guy is insane. He's talking about an actual meat bicycle, not a fucking penis. I remember that. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have the shiniest meat bicycle.
yeah.
Oh my God, Krieger.
It can't be worse than
What? How
Carl's.
do you even go
dragon.
from bicycle to penis?
Because he said shiny meat. Forget the bicycle.
How
You're-
big?
He also said, I'm the conductor of the poop train.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck does that mean?
You almost
like
made me
cat
spit out
poo?
my water.
Oh.
Oh, that would be an awesome weapon. The fucking buzzsaw. No, it's not a buzzsaw. It's a buzz axe. It's basically just a buzzsaw at the tip of an axe.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know weapon like that. A game that did stick to me though is probably Bioshock Infinite, mostly because it's steampunk elements.
Yeah.
No, but I absolutely loved it. And I remember this really stuck in my mind because I had a friend who was kind of a hipster at the time, and she turned around when I was explaining the story to her and went, so Elizabeth, yeah, I see that she wears a corset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you might think you might think what the fucking conversation was next. Still,
I
my
think we
friend
can
is no longer a hipster SJW. Thank God.
Yes.
I knew people would change for the worse.
I know, and it's sad. Oh shit. It's like feminists. They like watching old movies, but they don't. But they like to complain that old movies are sexist
And racist.
and racist. And it's like, okay, so the majority of feminists who want to be geeks or something like that, they like Metropolis, but you know that it's like. But then they argue it's like a very racist film because there's this one scene where the woman comes up, the robot, comes up and is like a goddess sort of thing, and the statues turn into black people. And I'm like, and she's like, oh, that's. I remember someone going like, oh, that's so fucking racist. I went, wait, it was made in the 1920s.
In Germany.
In Germany, yeah.
Okay.
Like, do you not know how history works?
Yeah. Well,
They want to censor it.
I've done my. Speaking of Germany, I've done my political compass this week, and one day I saw the references. It's like, huh, Hitler is surprisingly at the middle. I thought he would be more to the right.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
Hitler wasn't right wing, and obviously neither was Mussolini. Mussolini was really left wing.
Yeah.
sort of
You know,
authoritarian centrist.
North
People would
Korea-
put fascism and Nazism as a third position ideology, which combined elements of the far right and the far left. So
Did
it
you
was
know
really
that,
neither.
North Korea is a socialist country. They won't. Yeah. Try and get a socialist.
It
country.
goes very well. If you're a criminal, you go to the camp, and your children will stay there too.
They
Yeah.
call themselves Jews. They don't
How
call
many-
themselves
I
communists.
think it's three generations that you have to stay in jail.
Huh?
Like that in camp in North Korea.
Jesus.
All your descendants are going to be in prison.
There's like other refugees. We have about
I
300.
don't remember for what
North Korean
crime you
refugees.
have to stay 3 generations, but
In England, we have 300 North Korean refugees here.
North Korean.
Yeah.
it's not
Wait.
like the
hold-
big point about all these. It's just like, oh yeah, the
I actually really
US.
want. Like Antifa or some socialist cunt just to try and talk about how socialism is good to a bunch of North Korean refugees.
What the fuck?
But then
See,
you get
how
the
I'm
whole
not-
no true communism or socialism rant, you know?
Well,
Yeah,
wait.
well,
I have a question.
except for tankies.
How do the North Koreans get there if they're not allowed to leave their own country? Did they say?
They find
They
ways to
escaped.
cross.
Yeah,
They get smuggled out.
doing it. It's very
They either
dangerous, and very few actually escape. But it's either through China, which is very, very hard,
Or South Korea?
down to Japan.
No, you don't go to through the demilitarized zone to go to South Korea. You're gonna get killed.
There's
You have
some-
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
but-
just-
3 miles worth of
Fine.
landmines there, so.
Oh.
landmines. They recently had added auto guns. That thing shoots
Yeah.
super precisely, like at 1.5 kilometers. They're gonna shoot anything that's bigger than a rabbit.
I think out of the entire history, they've made it like landmines, all that stuff. I think about 2 people have went through the border.
The demilitarized zone. Shit. Okay.
Yeah, out of all the decades, I think 2 people went through the militarized zone alive.
That's amazing.
Well, here's how it goes.
And
They have to swim towards the river to China because, as everybody knows, China is the only ally that North Korea trusts.
And China doesn't really like North Korea anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. No.
Yeah, the way I compare it, it's like if North Korea, the relation between North Korea and China, it's like if China, China's mother forced him to carry his little autistic brother everywhere he went, to every parties. Then at some point, the big brother is gonna get tired and let his little autistic brother get beaten up.
Well, how it used to
Fuck.
Well, how it used to be, yeah, North Korea and China used to be fast friends, but then now, like as of the past 10 years, China now sees North Korea as a necessary evil.
And they just don't want
You know,
Yanks
'cause-
at their border, basically.
Yeah, that's why they use
Yeah.
North Korea as a buffer zone.
That's literally the only reason why.
Yeah.
The thing I would do is just like I think I've seen an article about this, like, oh, just killing the command wouldn't work, but it's usually chopping off the head. It's not a hydra, especially with something that small.
Mm. Ooh, sorry.
We've thrown another missile, I think, above Japan this week.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm worried about the Korean citizens. So,
The what?
Well, the North Korean citizens, because they are basically slaves.
Hostages.
They're not really citizens. They're basically hostages and slaves, aren't they? but at the same time, it's like we do have to stop North Korea.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the question is also how many actually believe, all this shit, and how many don't. It's impossible to tell.
Well, the problem
Yeah.
is if they actually admit what they actually believe,
Gonna get killed.
yeah.
Yeah, you get a bullet to the back of the head.
And get cannibalized on.
Shit.
I
Probably.
heard that they actually put them in re-education camps, which, according to some refugees that've been there, they would much rather just got the death penalty.
Shit.
Yeah.
Are you sorry, I had to leave the conversation for a bit. Are you talking about the punishments in North Korea for people who try to escape?
No,
Right now, it's re-education camps.
Yeah, people who say what they believe, they put them in re-education camps usually, and the refugees that have been there said that they would much rather have the execution than the re-education camp.
That one was a point I've seen a couple of years ago when it was only okay, Christians, and when feminism kind of began to get a hold, it's like, oh, we should put men in re-education camps. It's like, that's
I
a
saw that
fucking
article.
euphemism for indoctrination camps.
Well, I mean,
North Korea.
they probably mean it.
Oh yeah, they do.
Because the thing is, I monitor this anarcho-communism group. They actually have a re-education group to send you to. And they're supposed to be, the anarcho, the non, overarchy kind of thing. And they have a fucking...
Wait a minute.
Re-education.
They have an actual deck camp in that group.
Not like a death camp, but like...
No, re-education is not a death camp.
Yeah.
They're gonna educate you.
You go there to make sure you don't have any wrong things.
It's basically brainwashing.
The death camps are for families of the escaped North Koreans and the thieves.
It's one of the things why people don't escape, because you can pretty much only do it by yourself, and if they know you escape, they're gonna punish your family.
Yeah. That's why there's been some redefections back to North Korea, I think, because, or at least in some cases, they threaten the family. So,
yeah,
pretty fucking insane.
It's not like the U.S.-Mexico border where you can just pick a truck and just go through, or we'll just walk.
God damn it! I always make the stream depressing.
No,
it's great.
Life is depressing.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, we joke about it, and that's how we feel better.
Pretty much.
The thing is, you had to swim in freezing cold water in order to go to China.
In what?
Basically, yeah.
I didn't
You're not pretty far north, so.
There's some people who were so desperate they tried to swim to Japan.
Yeah.
That's not
tired.
I'm sure you could get well, here in Canada, where I am, I'm right next to the St. Lawrence. I know how cold water is.
Yeah.
I have a tolerance for cold water.
Yeah, there is tolerance and absolutely needing. I went swimming with my father. It's like, if you want to swim for more than 15 minutes, you need, at the very least, a wetsuit.
I'm so glad that the camera isn't lower down, because I've nip slipped like 5 times. It's like, oh, thank God there's like a cut-off point.
Yeah, we're live, so we wouldn't want Edgy to get a strike.
No. Like it's cut off on the perfect moment, so you can't actually see anything. You just see them there.
Oh, I'd say hoof because it's live. If it weren't live, I'd say aw.
Well, you'd only get the strike if someone reported him, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
He never done it.
He does make enemies on Twitter. Apparently, maybe they know about this show.
Yeah.
Well, don't strike his channel, because you'll never see Miss Steam Tats ever. There you go.
All right.
What else is going on? Let's see. There was people burning MAGA hats. That was kind of entertaining a little bit.
We'll burn.
Like,
We'll burn.
like the
hats.
deal isn't finalized yet, and they're fucking burning their shit.
They're already burning their shit. Yeah.
Because they want to be pissed off. That's why. That's how they find purpose in life.
You know what's awkward though is okay, so the shop was selling manga, not manga, manga hat, right? It just says manga. They had to.
Are they also red?
Yeah, ever since the whole Trump MAGA thing, they basically took it off the market.
Damn.
It's like, well, the store doesn't want to fail.
There was a girl who was pepper sprayed in Berkeley at the first war, at the first Battle of Berkeley. She had a make Bitcoin great again.
You know,
She
that was the
pepper
Milo
sprayed
one,
for that.
right? I think that was the Milo.
Yep. Yeah, that was the Milo one. It's like, yeah, she got pepper sprayed. Yeah, she didn't have a MAGA hat.
Yeah, sure.
It was a copy of it. Yeah, sure, but it was a joke.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like, oh yeah, Spino saying, oh, anyone wearing a say a MAGA hat is basically is basically free game because it's like, oh, it's not your it's not your regular normie.
I was
like,
planning to buy. I was planning to buy a manga hat, and then like iron on this naked lady thing I've had for a while, and like a naked anime lady, and the problem was when they took it off the market, I was just about to buy one, and I'm like, fuck.
Maybe you can find some. Maybe you can find them on eBay now. There must be a stockpile of them.
Don't keep in mind, I don't hate Trump for his policies. I think his policies are okay. None of them. But I hate Trump because that manga hat, I had my eye on that shit and I fucking hate it, and I want an apology from Donald Trump.
I understand you, sister.
I want an apology from Donald Trump. I was gonna make that happen.
Blame the haters, not the game.
I want an apology from Trump.
Well, the funny part is that this girl who was pepper sprayed at Berkeley, it wasn't even like a normal MAGA hat. It was a parody hat. Make Bitcoin great again.
Yep.
Right. No. The best part about the Spino thing is that, like, if you take it to its logical conclusion, as I was saying to him, a Chick-fil-A hat could potentially be a political fucking hat, a fucking Chick-fil-A hat, because they support, like conservative, whatever Christian causes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
they 5 years ago they went through that whole thing with gay marriage. So
yeah. It's just like a fucking Chick-fil-A hat is now a political symbol according to Spino.
Hey, this means fuck Antifa. This is now a political symbol. No, it is not a actually
Illuminati.
What?
It's a knife.
That's just the third eye. That's just the third eye. It means that you're woke.
But this is no longer like a manga symbol. No. This is now I hate Antifa symbol.
For what reason? I don't even get it.
Because of the stupid shit Spino says. That's why.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, so if you wear anything that has any political association, it's like, okay, so there are absolutely no political normies that has a pin or a T-shirt saying "I'm with her."
So if someone walks around with the Colin Kaepernick jersey, is that a political statement now?
I don't know. I don't know Colin Kaepernick, so
The sticker.
Like a camo hat. A camo hat could be a political statement now.
Someone took the sticker off my hat.
everything is political now.
The person is political.
At least if people are gonna be retarded, I'm making a fucking SS style Kyrgyzstan hat.
Be back in a minute.
I actually have an Antifa patch on my old sweatshirt, so it was pretty bitchin'.
Burn it.
I said anti-Antifa.
By the way, since we're all, one of the topics that pops up every time on our show is someone being retarded. Who can be more retarded than Hillary Clinton? Because she went full potato.
Oh gosh. Please.
Oh god, that fucking book of hers. What is this?
Interview.
That fucking book, even after the first week, it's at 30% off.
Oh yeah, but it's true.
After the first week of a Hillary Clinton book, that thing is a fucking brick.
Oh.
40% on Amazon.
Oh dear god.
And Amazon slashed the prices before their official release already.
God.
What was it? I think there was another thing that, like, there was an event that she was supposed to do a book signing or whatever, and she was like an hour and a half late or something.
Oh yeah, she was late and
It's like,
last.
fuck.
That's kind of what you expect from her.
I think, yeah, and she was like there for like 10 minutes or something like that.
Probably.
I have this.
It's Hillary Clinton, so it's not like I would be surprised by that.
To disillusion her, what, 5 remaining sycophants left?
And I don't think it's during that book signing, but during another, there was an article about how Hillary, a mother, grabbed her adult daughter by the arm and dragged her to Hillary Clinton. So it's like, apologize for not voting.
Oh, gee. Oh.
What an insufferable parent.
Yeah, no, it's just.
Apologize for not voting.
It's like, yeah, to Hillary Clinton. It's like, yeah, it's like, I would have voted, but not to Hillary or Trump. Well, okay, no, maybe I would have voted Republican just that time, just to make sure. At this point, well, I'm Canadian, so I don't really have any reasons to care other than it's like, hey, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun 8 years.
I live in a liberal state, so my vote wouldn't have really mattered. So
The thing is that Trump, I think he's trying to be more of an economic president more than a social president.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, he tried to be. Then he tried to be. What's his name? Fuck. Almost said Nixon.
Reagan?
Reagan 2.0.
Listen.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
really
no.
trying. He really is trying to be Reagan.
Yeah, because the thing is that I think this is what America needs right now is more of
I
an
think he even
economic,
used the same term.
economic help more than social help at the moment.
we just passed 20 trillion in debt, so of course, you know.
Yeah.
This is the article about Hillary superfans wait 12 hours for 12 seconds with Hillary. So it was.
Holy shit.
12
Oh my
hours?
god.
Former President Clinton was stopped by Manhattan Barnes and Noble Tuesday. He signed copies of her new blockbuster memoir. What happened? It's like, what happened? The most inept campaign in the history of ever happened.
What happened? Hillary Clinton. That's it. You have the answer. It's on it's at the fucking cover. Don't even need to read it.
Dude, that's fucking insane. Waiting 12 hours for some has-been to show up.
I need to
I find
recheck the prices. I don't think she's going to do a book signing, but she's at least going to go to Ottawa or Toronto.
If she's
And it's going to cost
really just proof of her ego.
$2,600 per ticket.
so Hillary
Jeez.
Clinton has a movie.
Wait, what?
A movie.
A movie? What?
Wait, is that what we're talking about? Shit.
No,
No.
I don't think so.
No.
She's visiting Canada or something, apparently.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
going for something. Maybe doing a talk in Toronto or Ottawa.
I think that the only company that would actually make a movie about her would be Asylum Movies.
If there was a movie about her, I'd probably just laugh my ass off.
The
but
funny
this
thing
is
is,
definitely proof of her ego. I mean, remember in the last election, you didn't really see much of Mitt Romney, you know, after the election, but she's still here, like in the freaking news. She lost. She doesn't want to go away, but everyone else does, even most of her fucking base. And yet here she is. I mean, we haven't even seen much of Barack Obama since he left office, and he kind of had a
no,
ego
yeah, we
himself.
haven't.
They
So.
went to hiding because there were some scandals getting dug out about illegal spying on the Trump's campaign.
Yeah.
Wise of him
Oh,
got going to
Yes.
Well, I don't know what
Very.
was it actually illegal because there was some like talk about it being foreign stuff like that. I haven't like looked into it.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
But yeah, I mean the other thing is that's being dug up right now is like the Loretta Lynch stuff. That's the thing that's being.
Oh Jesus! I
Yes,
just
they're all over the place.
why do I have the weirdest mind of all? I managed to make my hat form half decently, and I just realized I have a kit for a sleazy doctor's quick abortion because I used a coat hanger.
Okay.
It's like I just thought of this like, oh yes, the coat hanger, that's nice, and then it's like, Jesus Christ, why? Why me?
I mean, if you're desperate, I guess.
Well, I am a backyard abortionist. If you need any help. All it takes is a bowling ball and bam! That motherfucker's out of here.
Yeah, but it's a bit harder to carry a bowling ball, though it's more inconspicuous.
Or you could run
Or you can
somebody
push her
over
down
with
the
a car.
Marco gives great advice. Remember when I gave this perfect advice? If you are accused of being a misogynist, just shoot a woman to prove you are not. Well, it made more sense in context.
Yeah,
The best advice on this show.
I bet it does. Oh yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I wouldn't hit a woman. It's like, yeah, I think one of my friends like, oh, you don't hit a woman, period. If someone is attacking me, I'm gonna hit back. Don't care if it's a dog, a man, a woman, a one-legged transsexual dwarf. Green.
So how do I know if it's a woman or not? No.
I followed the Quran's teachings. I hit a woman with a stick.
No, I think the Muslim thing is that it needs to be a small stick, like the size of a thumb, like a dowel.
I mean,
I
like,
heard that actually wasn't true.
Kinda?
Thing.
The Quran also says you gotta smack a hoe.
well, like I thought like this would be a great chance to smack her. I mean, like this medal.
Not for copyright reasons, I would just play smack my bitch up in the background.
Also, if I feel really violent, bad
Steam,
timing.
you can use it in the stoning.
If I feel like really violent, there's always like glass involved.
You could fuck as the sun to burn them.
Yeah, that's what I said last week.
There's always glass involved.
Or with
could just
the
hit her like this.
or at least you can spot the police from far away with the lens.
Gotta come
Yeah.
up with your own symbol.
It's like, oh yeah, you're the watcher. It's like, coppers.
No, we've got a girl in the stream. Now I can't scratch my balls.
No, you can- I dated a man who literally scratched his balls right in front of me in public. That's fine, I don't care.
My one of my philosophy professors supposedly said one time while she was driving, she was stopped at a red light, and the guy next to her in the car next to her, the guy was jacking off. It's like,
Oh my god!
Damn.
Sure, that's a way to pass time in traffic.
Yeah, okay. I am known for not having the most reliable decision-making abilities on the face of the earth.
Excuse me.
But that's a little far even for me.
Why would you even want to jerk off inside your car?
Well, there are guys that fuck their cars, so.
Oh yeah, I think that
What was it
documentary.
Oh wow.
You don't even need a documentary. There was a video. The guy was just filming, and the guy was humping his car from the tailpipe.
Yeah, I don't think that's what they meant when they said this was an autoerotic, feature.
Rigor
So what?
mortis.
If
Rigor mortis.
he managed to roll over himself and get stuck under the car, is that autoerotic as asphyxiation? Jesus, that's a hard word.
My first semester of college, I had a roommate who was an aspie, and I had to get away from him because one night he woke me up at 4 in the morning because he was jacking off to hentai.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean, that's not exactly unusual.
Yeah, that's
No
the
headphones?
worst.
Well, yeah, I was like 4. I like waking up kind of half dazed. I'm like, what's going on? I hear him moving around. I'm like, oh shit! And I see him.
So did you go help?
No,
Yeah.
no, I pretended to be asleep. I'm like cringing in my sleep. Oh my god, why are you doing this?
That's never smart to hentai without headphones because hentai has a certain sound.
The high pitch, the high pitch goes very far inside
Yeah.
walls.
Yeah, but some like non-porn animes are like that. I mean, I was watching something a friend of mine recommended. My wife was asking me why I was watching hentai.
Speaking of high-pitched tones, that doesn't mean that hentai contains a lot of Nazi dog whistles.
Oh yeah.
No, llámate. No,
Hitler-san!
Oni-chan.
Honey-chan, yamete!
Dígale some asshole.
No.
Llámate.
Hentai is Nazi dog whistles. I got to hear this one.
Well, I mean, it's David Schwab probably said something similar to that because
Wait, where's the Richard Spencer tweet?
this shit.
What's his name?
You know,
Is it Eichenwald that was fapping to fucking?
Yeah, it was like, well,
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah. Fucking
I don't know what name I had to pronounce it because.
Holy shit! Somebody know. Fucking. Holy.
Glad.
I know.
Bring
you're
up my
being-
video
I
on
know
that.
he's
Bring up
being
my
ed-
video on that.
I know he's being edgy, but it's like, man,
It's fun.
don't. People are just like you complain that people that don't take you out of context. Just don't.
It's only bad when it happens to him.
I have a complaint about hentai. They've stopped making really weird stuff that's made hentai popular, like Euphoria, and Euphoria. People don't watch it because they're horny. They'll watch it because it's like, what the fuck.
Yeah.
Same with Boku no Pico. They're not watching it because they're horny. They're watching it because it's like, oh my god.
Depends.
They're watching it because of the reaction factor.
Yeah.
No, if you want to watch something for the pure what the fuck reaction feature, Legends of the Ogre Fiend.
Oh.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Well, I
don't-
think.
Don't watch
yeah, I
that
think
if you have a heart condition.
Okay.
I personally have never seen it. I have friends of mine that did,
Oh.
and they said just trust
There's
me.
a
Don't.
Don't.
yeah. There's a film reviewer I like to watch, Brandon Tenold, and I think he referenced that movie in his review of Wicked City.
It's like that movie can be summed up in 4 words: Field of Giant Cocks.
Oh wow.
Someone had.
Stuck in my mind was these orcs. They killed all the boys. In. Okay, so I was planning to masturbate to it, and I ended up watching the fucking entire series, not masturbating at all, because it was so fucking funny and intriguing. It was like these orcs come into a high school, kills all the boys, and fucks all the girls so they can impregnate them or some shit like that. And the plot was so good, I ended up watching all 6 episodes.
Sounds a lot like humanoids.
Come for the porn, stay for the plot.
You gotta link the.
That's the thing. I was so interested. Like, have you ever seen that that meme? You come, yeah. You're watching hentai, and then suddenly you're so you're watching hentai. Didn't even fap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically like if you find an intriguing thing, you don't end up fapping. You kind of just like end up
watch it.
Like, going
Yeah.
like, this is
You gotta link it because I need to send this to Tara McCarthy. Tara McCarthy.
I'm sorry. Plot and hentai just kind of like. I don't think I've ever quite heard, like ogre gang rape described as an interesting exploration of the dynamics of class warfare.
Okay.
Oh my god.
The things about the oh god.
The sound's not on.
These things about the hentai.
And the worst of all, it's not like Eichwald. They just said it's like, okay, yeah, I admit it's. I have a certain appreciation of that type of art.
Tentacle rape is symbolic for how we are all interconnected as a society. I don't know.
There's some literal
That's something you people would write for a fucking philosophical exam.
Like
You have to analyze a type of art, any type. It's like, hey, fuck it, I'm gonna do hentai.
the majority of people who watch hentai because they feel guilty watching normal porn.
I think I'd feel more guilty watching hentai than normal porn.
Well, it depends on what kind of. What
Depends on what. It's like, yeah, I feel I do. Some of the shit is like, I think some people would feel less guilty if it's just an animated character that indulges in it.
Yeah. Like,
for me, it's not because I feel guilty about regular porn or whatever. There are times that I'm more turned on by the sound of than the visuals.
Yeah.
So hentai is good for that phase for me.
I'm not saying the reason for my hentai obsession, but it is one of the big ones.
What an interesting
And
stream.
sometimes I just have a fetish for Japanese, like just the sound of Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah. The girls like squeaking.
Of every age.
Might not be like, yeah.
They had just fought the real Mad King who would oppress all who opposed him.
Oh, America's not to be spoken of, it's at it!
For your own peace of mind, sir, but it is not America.
Peace of mind? I have no peace of mind. I've had no peace of mind since we lost America.
240 years later, the Mayan apocalypse failed to end the world in 2012 AD. But the first sign of the true end of the world came in May 2015.
Just do it! Make
To do the
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make America great again.
From the onset, that one man was denounced as the reincarnation of another evil.
We will win big. We will win big.
It's happening!
The nation will rise again.
First to be denounced as such.
When this man stood before 50 and 100 and 200,000 people, he wooed.
Oh, this fucking guy.
Shit, what is this guy?
When he stood up there again,
niggas are crazy.
From hell himself, called Barack Hussein Obama, got y'all in a trance.
Barack Hussein Obama.
That what Starbucks was doing is that they were taking specimens of.
It's Uncle Ruckus from.
Barack Obama in your butthole.
Yeah, no, that guy is fucking Uncle Ruckus from the
Boondocks.
What's his name? Boondocks.
A formidable.
Barack Obama Hussein.
Said all this. Why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask? Well,
We don't know.
working families has never been clearer. I need your help to get Donald Trump's record out to everybody. Nobody should be fooled.
But against all odds, he overcame.
January 20th, 2017 will be remembered as the day the people became the rulers of this nation again.
Causing fear and hysteria.
And I give it all back to you. The people.
You better fucking fix this shit right now. I literally am gonna die.
So,
No, isn't that one when Trump won the primary? The girl, the hysterical girl?
Those videos when he won the election, they were demanding that he be taken out. Hillary, I mean, like, people were flipping the fuck out.
Oh,
Yeah.
my.
I remember that.
I've got a friend. Okay, she is an
It was a
ex-Muslim.
glorious night.
She is an ex-Muslim, gay refugee,
Oh shit.
who is a right-winger, a very big supporter of Trump. Do you know what happened when Trump was elected? I wasn't even awake. She called me up and went, "Hey, I'm taking you out tonight." Wait, what? So she wore all this MAGA shit on her, made me wear like a MAGA hat, and then took me to a gay club where we had pink eyes, and I was worried we were going to get stabbed.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Oh
Damn.
shit.
And yeah, she's an SJW's worst nightmare, basically.
Yeah. Well, it's completely stupid because what we did at my quote unquote apartment during it was at college, so there was a shit ton of people, a couple of people that went here to just to watch the election. We had food, we had everything, we had alcohol. It's just like if we were watching the goddamn I almost said Powerball. God damn it, Super Bowl. It's like it's fucking election nights, and we're in Canada, and we're treating it like the fucking Super Bowl.
I've literally,
I never had that much fun in my life.
I've literally heard her
totally
say,
honest.
if Donald Trump was right here, I'd get on my knees and suck his dick.
The God Emperor.
And I kind of believe her.
So she's gay, she's lesbian, and still she would suck Trump's dick. Okay.
This is why. Is because, look, I don't think that you're a single issue voter. I just think you're dumb. Okay? I think you're fucking dumb.
Others rage.
The nation and all of our freedoms.
God damn,
Government.
Russian scum.
One shitty.
Russian scum.
That's anime. For real.
That was beautiful.
Racist? Are you? Okay, cool. You will not divide us. You will not
Oh,
divide
that's a peppy shirt.
Flag.
Yeah, the flag.
Look at pull down. Come on. Yeah.
Guys, say it with me. He will not inside us.
He will multiply you.
He will not inside us.
you.
But the tyrant still bombed Syria.
The U.S. has reportedly launched dozens of cruise missiles at a Syrian government target. That is according to networks including CNN and NBC, citing Pentagon officials.
But enter the chosen one, a journalist for Vanity Fair and contributor to MSNBC.
Please what's going on. Please be aware of how Russian disinformation campaigns work.
Remembering the powers bestowed to the free press by the First Amendment, he was ready to take on the new tyrant who would usher in 21st century American fascism.
Let me answer the question.
Espousing the same hack narrative as the rest of the media.
Well, I think it's even worse. I mean, you got to remember that this is a man who's been briefed by the intelligence agencies. He has been told that Russia is engaged in a large-scale cyber attack to affect the American election.
He was rebuffed by more witty and intelligent media observers from Russia today.
The Russian thing has gone off the charts. I am embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for the mainstream media. Kurt Eichenwald, I hope he keeps his Twitter page up.
And he did.
This is his wife. You caused this seizure. I have your information and have called the police to report the assault. You caused a seizure? The only time you can use that is with Hillary Clinton.
He dueled fierce.
Let's your willingness to answer a simple question. So please answer it.
I am trying to answer the
Do you have
question.
evidence he was in a
Unfortunately,
mental
unlike
hospital
on
in
your
1990
world, reality is not always able to give you a yes or no answer. If you don't, look how much time we are wasting with me trying to say, let me answer your question.
Nothing is awesome.
You allow me to do it.
Go crazy.
So I will continue.
But he failed to see he was outclassed.
During the presidential election, I began to see the same behavior, the impulsiveness, the lack of sleep. I mean, that's the same thing that he was doing.
This is just stupid, Kurt. I'm sorry. Nobody's getting anything out of this. I'm asking you a plain question. You're not answering. You're filibustering. Let's move on to something else. Can you stop? This is not interesting. Let me ask.
I am not allowing you to make an accusation and then
I'm not making an accusation, Kurt. I'm asking you to substantiate a claim that you made.
You want to have a dialogue, just ask gas.
And then, a prophecy foretelling his demise.
I think you may be coming undone for this.
He retreated, but in order to get back at his foe, he claimed his foe's minions were sending him anti-Semitic propaganda. One mistake.
Hentai. Fuck yeah.
Pulled to a wretched place filled with depravity and degeneracy. A poor man worked himself.
Yeah.
Blow was strong, so he tried to snuff the damage.
Oh god, I want to see that anime. I've heard it's pretty good. They actually fight, hitting each other with their ass and tits.
Oh yeah.
I think it's called Keizo or something.
An unbeliever.
Oh yeah, about that sport. There's a team in I think Iceland, whatever, it's a Nordic country. They're actually making that sport a reality.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking badass.
What? And the day was his enemies.
You remember Kurt Eichenwald. He's the Newsweek reporter who self-immolated on this show about 6 months ago. We'd invited him on to prove his claim that Donald Trump once spent time in a mental hospital, but Eichenwald never did prove it. Instead, he lost control of himself completely, shouting and gesticulating, making weird noises on the set. Yesterday, Eichenwald was back on Twitter yelling about his political views. As it happened, he was actually attacking the show. And to prove his point, whatever that was, he tweeted a picture of his home computer. Within minutes, sharp-eyed internet users noticed that he'd left a tab open in the picture, and it was a link to hardcore Japanese cartoon pornography. It exists.
It exists.
Here's what he later tweeted. Believe it or not, my kids and I were trying to convince my wife that tentacle porn existed. I tried to find some to show it was real, but I couldn't find any. Ended up reads my Twitter feed so they know this is true. End quote. Well, of
Couldn't
course,
find any.
the internet for
Just go to DeviantArt or Google Images with the Satan filter
Yeah,
off.
just Google tentacle porn.
You don't even need porn.
I mean, I found those clips right
Demonstrate?
here on YouTube. It's not that hard.
To further his suffering, the tyrant
Can you pause for a second?
was defied.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This is basically the situation he put himself in.
I put a link of the video of internet historian about that.
Oh yeah, remember.
Internet historian is a very good guy, a good one. Just follow
Yeah,
his
yeah.
user with memes.
Yeah, I would actually have that music on as background music while I'm doing doing like armor prop building.
This guy S3RL, he actually made that this music video, and it is just called hentai.
That reminds me of something. Glebs, let me look it up.
Yeah,
Well,
actually, my favorite election night meltdown has to be hands down Rachel Maddow.
You have to go.
I don't think I've seen this.
I don't think I've seen hers.
She's like,
I don't think I've seen her.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the world we live in.
Oh yeah.
I'm not having a nightmare. This is real. I'm half expecting her to whip a shotgun out from under the desk and just start blowing everybody in the studio away.
Oh, you could tell she was definitely set up for disappointment. I mean, remember after the Democratic debate, she actually went up and hugged both Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton.
Yeah,
fuck.
You're not having a terrible, terrible dream. Also, you're not dead and you haven't gone to hell. This is your life now. This is our election now. This is us. This is our country. It's real.
I would have done the one about.
I love the tax document stuff.
I would have
this thing up. She talks for like an hour about like, oh, we're gonna find whatever, and then finally, after about an hour, shows the documents, which shows he paid almost twice as much in taxes as Bernie Sanders.
I mean, he's also worth more, but
it's easy. It's so stupid, and even then,
but the entire core of their argument is Donald Trump paid no taxes.
Right. Okay.
And he paid almost twice as much as their darling.
What's his name?
Yeah, there was like, oh, he paid no income tax. Well, even if that was true, he probably got hammered in capital gains. So.
Yeah, and the thing is like they actually like the person that she brought on as the expert that was going to help, crucify Trump or whatever, actually pointed out the fact that he could have actually paid just over half of what he actually paid had he gone by the alternative minimum tax. He paid twice as much as he could have gotten away with paying to begin with.
That is the face of someone who had a really, really shitty night.
Yeah.
Oh,
what's his name? John Oliver. When John Oliver did the next thing, it's like he blew up 2016.
Oh yeah,
he should have went with the comeback to the joke of it's like, oh yeah, Trump is gonna present himself. Do it. I'm gonna write personally a check to your campaign. It's like he should have just been very concerned at his desk and say, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I from the start I was sure he wouldn't do it, but the motherfucker did it. I'm so sorry, everyone. It's my fault.
We were talking about Hillary Clinton being a retard because there's a lot of
if a fucking people actually like voted instead of going like, oh, everyone else is gonna vote. It's like, well, that's why your president didn't win, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Voter turnout was down.
Jesus, this one.
I think the best my father had a better take. It's like we should be able to trust the government, but it's like, we're humans. It's humans.
So my
yeah, I'd
my
like to
question
trust the
is,
government too, but
what's worse, that she either one read it and came to this conclusion, or two that she didn't. She didn't watch and she said this.
Yeah.
Oh God, what is worse?
The biggest joke I would have done about the election is just like, okay, the guy at the news desk preparing to pop champagne, just pop it, and it's like let somebody somebody talks to him. It's like, what? Oh, it's the other one that won, and he just pour a glass. It's like, I'm gonna need it anyway. you just do that for any of the candidates. It's like, and it's Hillary that won. Oh, like, what? Oh, it's
this is
Trump. Okay, I'm gonna need the alcohol anyway.
So this is what she wrote about 1984. Attempting to find reality is a core feature of authoritarianism. Well, that's true. This is what the Soviets did when they erased political dissidents from historical photos. Yeah, this far she's actually not far from truth. This is what happens in George Orwell's classic novel 1984, when a torturer holds up four fingers and yeah, that's.
say SJW is more or less creating 1984 more than fucking right wingers.
Yeah, but she
At
goes
the moment, yeah.
Here, like.
But what about alternative facts, guys? That's where we'll end.
Question logic and reason, and to sow mistrust towards exactly the people we needed to rely on. Our leaders, the press experts. How the fuck can you read?
Yeah, no, she's talking about like, oh, we should just trust them
honestly,
unconditionally.
I hope she didn't read it and she's just making an ignorant statement, because if she read it, she fucking read it.
But she got it right so far. I mean, this part is not retarded. This is where she goes off the deep end. Like, this sentence doesn't belong with those. How can you get it so wrong? So close and yet so far. How can you?
Oh my god, the left one. Hold on, I'll just put the tweet from it's Paul News Infinity. My god, people are warning. It's like to Schumer and Pelosi to not go too close to Trump, because it's like, we're gonna have problems if we do. It's like, god damn it, he wants to get help, and you're just like, okay, get all the help that you can. Especially, it's like, okay, and maybe with that he won't nuke DACA. So
I'm sure that this book is really a collection of really hot takes, because, well, she praises CNN. Of course she does.
CNN really lived up to their nickname, the Clinton News Network, last election. So go figure.
what the frick?
Like Clinton wrote that while there has been a lot of terrific reporting on the Russia scandal, I mean the Nothing Burger, as CNN, I was like, was this like CEO of CNN? What?
No, it was what's his name, the black one. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, he said it's Nothing Burger.
The news anchor. What's his name?
Tom Lemon.
I think yeah. It's like yeah, he's the one that called it. And the other one is a producer.
We need to see the same rigor brought the blizzard of deception from the administration, Republican and Congress, on everything from the budget, health, to climate change. I was like, I love it when CNN does real-time fact check. More of that. Fact checking.
What the fuck are these guys smoking? Seriously.
I want some.
I mean, people who are still with her would believe anything that she says, so she can say whatever. Why didn't CNN run a... Ben Shapiro actually... well, everyone tore into her because of this idiocy. And I haven't seen the full... there was this interview, the first interview in a while with her. And she was, at times, she was really... You can look at the face, and the face was really... I don't know what kind of drugs is she on, but I want some, because that's a... Huh? You actually find this interview at the show, the faces she made, because this... Well, I remember when I made fun of Richard Dawkins for being like fucked up on meth or something when he was talking to the BBC about the Brexit referendum. He was. You can see the pupils are dilated. Hi, Crush.
Greetings.
Hello.
With this really
Ouchie.
interesting echo, like as if you're like in a cathedral or something, where imposing. Actually, okay, let's see.
Hold on a second. If I can fix.
No, the echo was great.
Okay, how about now?
It was better with echo. Let's see. This is the interview. Just well, she says she blamed pretty much everyone for her loss because, of course, she was the only one who didn't do nothing. I just wanted to find the.
It couldn't be the fact that you abuse your husband, or the Benghazi, or your husband could be a pedo. Yep. Or the emails.
I'll try to find this moment. I was making those faces. At some moment, she started when she started laughing out of nowhere. It's really a creepy laugh. I'll try to find it. So this like
Can't hear anything.
This is where it starts.
Went in the bedroom, laid down on the bed, just thought, okay.
I'll be back on in a little bit. I gotta watch the kid while my wife goes to do an errand quickly.
Looks like it's not going to work. After midnight, she called Donald Trump. I felt like I had let everybody down. Morning came. Vic was waiting to hear from her. I had not drafted a concession speech.
Yeah, this is where she makes those faces.
She fucking admitted it.
Yeah, she admitted she counted on winning the election. It's like, well, big freaking mistake there.
Waiting to hear from her. I had not drafted a concession speech.
Look at the faces.
I've been working on a victory speech. Our best days are still on New York. I just felt this enormous letdown, this kind of...
Yeah, and try to like beat up Podesta. Remember the story when it broke out? Several sources actually confirmed
Podesta, Scaramucci.
Yeah, she debated.
Scaramucci mixed up the names. Sorry.
Podesta deserves some beating. Let's say. Let's say it's like it is.
Loss of feeling and direction and sadness, and
that's the feeling and direction. That's called a seizure, lady. You should know it by now.
Of closet cleaning and long walks in the woods and playing with my dogs.
Go back to the fucking woods.
It was a very hard transition. I really struggled. I couldn't feel. I couldn't think. I was just...
Well, how is different from her normal state?
Gobsmacked like that.
Hillary has got to be the biggest, worst sore loser that I know of.
First lady and former presidents and first ladies show up. It's part of the demonstration of the continuity of our...
I actually think she took her defeat a little bit better than Al Gore did in 2000.
Well, to be fair, Al Gore was there. It's like the Supreme Court decided it basically.
That is true. I'm still pretty salty about it.
I haven't seen Al Gore's reaction, but to be fair, he was right there.
At least he didn't blame everyone. That's the only edge she has over him.
I'm so sorry someone didn't want to vote. I'm so sorry they didn't want to vote for a person who deleted very important emails, fucking
robbed Haiti,
illegal shit more
than
2 times, and is still able to walk. Is suspected of murder, more or less. Benghazi, everything Bill Clinton has done.
Well, probably they love this Russian narrative so much, but when it failed with Trump, they decided, well, Bernie colluded with Russia. Duh.
Yeah.
The only foreign, really international leader I could say that definitely backed Bernie was the Pope.
Well, I mean, did he even? They just met, I think, right?
When they were talking about the wall, the Pope said that's it's not very Christian to build a wall. Yeah, he's right. That's more of a Jew thing. Or a Chinese thing if you want, but yeah, it's one or the other. Pick one. Pick
your poison.
Well, he obviously never officially endorsed, but you could definitely tell the type of person who Pope Francis is. He definitely would have liked to have seen Bernie in the White House before Hillary or Trump.
Oh yeah.
Well, which is ironic because what is it? Bernie's probably close to or might be an atheist. He might be a closet atheist.
He's an atheist actually. He's a Jewish but not practicing Jew. So
yeah.
Jewish by heritage, not by religion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, basically.
He's a socialist, so of course he is not into Jewish religion, if you know what I mean. Don't call me an anti-Semite. I'm just quoting what Karl Marx used. That makes the
I've got some Jew in me.
Because there's, I want to try it someday. Just take those quotes about Jews by Karl Marx without attributing it to Karl Marx and present it to some like alt-right and see how they react, because they probably will love it. Let us not look for the secret of the Jew in this religion, but let us look for the secret of his religion in the real Jew. What is the secular basis for Judaism? Practical needs, self-interest. What's the worldly religion of offspring? What is that? Money.
What the fuck?
That's the Jewish question, by the way. Yeah.
Hey, Kurt is here.
Provided the answer.
Oh shit!
This is too fucking unreal.
Awesome. The same Karl Marx that Bernie Sanders actually, well, not maybe worships, but at least finds appealing, I guess, because he's a socialist. Yeah. The Jew has emancipated himself in a Jewish man, not only because he has acquired financial power, but also because through him and also apart from him, money has become a world power, and the practical Jewish spirit has become the practical spirit of the Christian nations. The Jews have emancipated themselves insofar as the Christian has become Jews. In the fun, it's such a hot
Oh dear God, what is this?
It's fucking perfect because like a bunch of the alt-right are like rejecting Christianity.
Yeah.
Well, those who are not rejecting Christianity are actually funnier, because imagine those like stereotypical alt-right who are white power and stuff like that. You get
The draft of my cap, if you want to see it, if you want to show it, it's on the screen share.
Oh,
That's nice.
What is it?
Awesome.
Oh, nice.
I like that. That's cool.
Race cake.
Yeah. The other problem is the actual brown of the fabric is a bit too it's too light compared to my coat, so I don't know what to do. Do I keep it that way, or I dirty it to make it more brown?
Dirty it.
Yeah, I don't
probably
know.
get dirty on the way, like in the process.
No, but I don't know. Do I throw brown paint on it just to make it look used a bit, or just do I keep it pristine like that?
I would just keep it and let it.
I would say dirty.
Use.
Huh? Sorry, I don't hear it. Just
I would say dirty it up a bit, because it will look like it's authentic.
Yeah, I don't know. My coat is already. I think it's like 20 years old. It belonged to my father. It's supposed to be a cowboy coat from Australian Outbacks. Yeah, so how do I dirty it up? Do I put some dyes and paint?
It feels good. Don't use black. Don't use anything black. I'd say that.
Huh?
Don't use anything black. I'd say that, and don't use mud.
Oh, no, I won't use black because it's that's why I pick a brown cap instead of buying a full formed black cap. I want the one that fit my coat. Well, fit-ish. Hold on, I think I still have some photos.
Say what you want with the class.
Oh yeah, there's the Antifa professor too.
Oh yeah.
He's
now on this administrative leave.
What, Eric Clanton?
No, not this one.
No. There's another one. There's another one.
He went on CNN.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
They should all be killed. Every last one of them. They should all be murdered.
Let me see if I can.
Now that's my coat. I don't have any other regalia to add for now.
That's cool.
Oh, by the way, found this. Have you seen this? Crazy bitch. Does that well?
Oh no! What is it?
That wasn't old. That was old. Yeah.
She looks like Hillary Clinton, by the way.
I think that was on purpose.
Kinda.
Probably on purpose.
She's Spanish. Well, probably Mexican.
Yeah, it's Mexican. I can translate it. What she's basically saying is, Fuck your mother. You don't know what it's like to be in fucking Mexico. You fucking asshole.
And
Pretty much that.
sorry to say, he's not trying to do anything to Mexico. So if she's saying that it's shitty in Mexico, then how can
Wait, is she panting?
Mexicans to go into USA? I mean,
Is she panting from effort?
Well, she's old, so.
Yeah, I know.
She's supposed to be a book author.
He hasn't worked a real job in 20, 30 years.
So should I try to make a rope on the shoulders of my coat, or I know I will add a medal and a armband.
There's a link to the Antifa guy.
The medal part, as long as it's obvious that it's not real. Because
well, I'm gonna carve it out of a real medal that I have. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's the guy with the long neck.
Yeah, fucking giraffe.
He looks like he can suck his own dick, in all honesty.
This guy really does have an unnaturally long ass neck.
Most likely.
Holy fucking shit, look at
Yeah,
his
wasn't
ears
this
and look
the
at that
same
fucking
douche-
nose.
Yeah, wasn't this the same douchebag that was on Tucker Carlson's show?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Let's take a look.
Whoa, giraffe neck.
What the fuck? Oh shit.
He's got a long ass fucking neck.
Well, he's the fucking dream of ISIS. It's like there's no way you can miss the neck for decapitation.
His neck is also thin, so it'll probably go really
God damn, if I didn't know he was part of Antifa, I would say he was cute, but no.
Mike Isaacson.
You guys want to bet the guy is Swedish because of that fucking last name?
Isaacson.
Yeah, son of Isaac.
Jewish Swede.
Didn't he call for like what he wants more dead cops, like BLM take?
He was saying, "I'm teaching future dead cops" or something like that. I'm just like, fucking hell.
Wow, dude. Why would you say that?
His hot take.
I think it's a privilege to teach future dead cops. Oh my god. That's a fucking professor.
Wow.
It's like, I'm glad that some of my students will die. Hey, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Well, what else do you expect? These guys have a snark level that's out there with Jim Sterling.
Yeah.
Jim Resistor?
I know someone who's an anarcho-socialist and he's a university professor.
Oh, by the way, in this New York Post article, he said he was talking de Blasio. He said he messed up big. So I don't know. It sounds like a veiled threat to me. Like de Blasio messed up. Here, I'll link it.
Again, de Blasio's a liberal. These people don't like liberals. They're because liberals are still complicit in maintaining the capitalist system. That's why they still get the bullet too, even though, after Charlottesville, it was pretty, shocking, to see, all these liberal cowards and cons trying to whitewash Antifa as basically nothing more than a bunch of hippies who only fight Nazis or neo-Nazis just to defend
progressive.
It's like, no, they're not, you fucking idiots.
I would
have
call
you
them
ever
progressive.
actually been to an
but
it's like, have you actually been read any of the shit Antifa puts out or the alt-right puts out? No, then you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
The It's Going Down website had I think it was like instructions or advice on how to dismantle train tracks. They can go fuck themselves.
Antifa is also outly spoken about killing all white babies.
Probably.
That was part of the Weather Underground's original plan, was to have the forced abortion of white babies should they overthrow the Nixon administration, then call back to earlier, put white working class people into the re-education camps to unlearn imperialism.
Yeah.
What was it? You know, the crazy thing is Richard Spencer is actually pro Planned Parenthood because they
really?
yes, because there's a large proportion of black babies who get aborted, like black women who go in to get aborted.
Yeah, it's actually kind of strange to see like many of these white nationalists and alt-right types come out against abortion when in the United States it's mostly minorities who get the abortion. That's why you know, the population of blacks in the 60s was about 10%, and they've barely got up to about 13% to the current. So, so I find that really strange because they obviously view abortion as like a secret Jewish plan for white genocide. But
right.
They're going about it in entirely the wrong way.
I was talking to someone, and they said something about the founder being.
Margaret Sanger.
Because she wants to get rid of black people. I'm like, wait, what? So I looked up.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
Margaret Sanger.
What happened was she's a founder of an abortion clinic, and she did it because it was actually it was in a time where having a baby was a liability more than anything to any woman. Really,
Right.
it was more of a liability than a privilege sort of thing, and that's why she did it. It's just how happens she's a racist cunt.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, you know, with the times, right?
Yeah. So that's where people got confused, I think, because back in those times, it was a massive liability if people got a baby, because the thing is that you are definitely going to be in debt. You're a lot less likely to get a job. And you know, considering what the state of America back then when she did it wasn't great. If you get what I mean, like it wasn't like it was obviously like for the common class, not the upper class, but the common class, it wasn't great for them. So it's mostly why she did it. But for the black people thing, nah, she just thought they were beneath her.
she wouldn't like me because I'm Polish.
I went away for a second. Who were you talking about?
Oh, so he's
Margaret Sanger, the woman who founded
Thatcher.
So she was also racist to Jewish people, anyone with a different religion, actually. Asians.
Yeah, she was a Nordicist.
Yeah. She basically hated anyone who wasn't American and white. She was
Well,
what liberals would call racist.
Well, more specifically, I think she liked Anglo-Saxons in particular.
Yeah.
And as I just said, she hates Slavs, so she hates me because I'm of Polish descent. So.
Yeah.
Anyone who isn't a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, if I recall.
Because
that's what a WASP is. So.
Yeah, she's a batshit insane bitch that had a lot of money. that's what Planned Parenthood came about. Was they kind of just went, "Hey, can we use your money?" Sure. And it's like, good, we got the crazy bitch's money. Go. That's basically how Planned Parenthood began. They scammed a racist old woman out of their money.
I mean, even back in the 70s, I remember Jesse Jackson believed that abortion was, a conspiracy for black genocide.
Yeah. No, it was not, because that would make no sense. That made no sense, because if it was a genocide, then why didn't they force it on black people instead of just making it optional?
Well, we still had eugenics programs throughout the early part of the 20th century. Like, I don't know how intense it was. It probably varied on the state, because I remember my grandfather telling me that if a woman had 2 children out of wedlock, she was sterilized, and then
holy shit.
Yeah. That's history for you.
When and where?
I think, well, the thing is, that's also happening in, used to be happening in China as well, I think.
Well, yeah, they had the one-child birth policy.
In England, we came up with.
They recently got rid of that, though.
We came up with the idea
Went
of
to two-child
abortion clinics because we came up with the idea of abortion clinics is because we were getting dangerously overpopulated. I mean, obviously we're way overpopulated now, but when we first had these abortion clinics, we were dangerously overpopulated, and there was a lot of women who actually had like 5 kids and don't want any more or some shit like that. So that was a whole problem with that. So yeah, that's the reason why we had abortion clinics, is because the economy and women had like fucking 4 or 5 children, were like, okay, I do not want a 6th child.
Yeah.
But I still want to fuck.
Did they have those kids because of welfare in Britain?
Welfare actually didn't come in until about 80s or 90s, actually.
Welfare
So
in the States came in the mid-60s.
So before then, it was basically just condoms just weren't widely known.
Yeah.
Or they didn't have enough goats.
Goats.
That's the worst, man. Yeah, that's the worst.
I think before they used sheep intestines.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in the Middle Ages.
Yeah, we like our early condoms was made out of sheep intestines, and before that we used a leather, kind of like a leather condom. There's a very thin leather, and you put it on the guy's dick. But the problem was, in order to get it, it had to be specifically tailored
For that purpose.
For the person.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, jeez, these look fucking weird.
So it was an honor hole before there was such a thing as an honor hole.
Yeah. What I know is also in the Middle Age, people were using pig bladders as balloons. It's like, oh yeah, kids want to play with balloons. Hey, go play with a pig bladder.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, they inflated it like a regular balloon and just let it go.
Well, Victorians were very creative with their condoms. They did all sorts of stuff.
It's easy. You're gonna find the most creative people in poorer countries. It's like in the they didn't have a lot of money for research, or at least resources, in Russia during the Cold War, and they got really creative with some of them.
No, but even like back then, some of the friggin' torture methods they had back then were like pretty freaking creative, like that brazen bull, the Judas cradle.
Yeah. Oh,
the Iron Maiden, the side splitter.
The friggin' sawing.
Well, in Victorian times, they used this thing where it was kind of a blocker where you stick it in a woman's vagina, sort of thing. When the man comes, it won't reach the uterus. Obviously, this doesn't actually work, but they but it worked sometimes. So,
what was it?
It was like a little blocker thing. So they stick something up a woman's vagina, and then they have sex, and it was apparently supposed to stop the sperm.
Mm.
It was supposed to stop the cum from reaching the uterus.
Like a diaphragm, just not effective, I guess.
Kind of, but there were complications. Like there was recordings of women who had to go to doctors to get it out, to get the block out.
Oh, that's awkward.
I remember something about doctors used to treat women who had hysteria by like fingering them.
Oh god!
People get wrong. People think it was like a big sexual thing. No, they had to be professional as possible. So they had to literally keep a very straight face, no boner, and basically just be like, kind of like that.
When they do get gay guys to do it.
That was actually the original purpose of the dildo, as a medical treatment for dementia patients.
Wow, the things you learn.
Well, I mean, there's
Jesus.
also didn't they also use like water hoses or something like a spray thing or something too?
Yeah.
I think
Like,
there was something like that.
Like you Americans were Americans were fucking awful though. Like, but what did you people think about? What do you think people really think? Like, oh yeah, we're gonna cut a bit of your fucking vagina and dick off, and you fucking like you took this information from a man who invented cornflakes. At least we were trying to do like things that kind of made sense. He's like, no, you people are fucking dumbasses. You just cut off whatever, like ISIS.
Britain superiority alert.
Gosh.
Well, at least our women
I
won't
have
be
to look
grossed out
this
when they see
up.
us in the bedroom. So.
Says John Harvey Kellogg invented cornflakes. He also advocated for female genital mutilation. Really hated masturbation, so he advised parents to shame and sexually abuse their children.
Yeah, I heard he was
That's
very
funny.
anti-sexualist, so that's why he tried to make, sex as unenjoyable as possible.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that friggin' Aquatine thing.
He also believed that female masturbation was the cause of conditions such as spinal derangement, epilepsy, uterine cancer, and certain birth defects in the unborn. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Temptations that led to masturbation. 2 soft beds. Consumption of tea consumption of foods like tea, candy, peppermint, dreams.
I don't think Americans realize how weird circumcision is to Europeans, because I've got a friend. She lived in England all her life. So she's dating this American guy. Lives in America now. He's circumcised. Never seen circumcised before, ever. She's only ever seen it in porn, sort of thing. But she didn't know what it was. Like, she thought it was just a weird birth defect. So for 3 months of having a sexual relationship, she didn't ask him a single thing about like why his penis looks like that. And then after 3 months, I went, you should ask him, and she was shocked by the fact that the circumcision thing existed, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's not just for Jews and Muslims
I
anymore.
remember she was telling me this, and I'm like, 3 months. She just told me.
Hey, what did I miss?
She thought it was a weird birth defect.
Well, we're talking about how Miss Steam's friend was fucking a guy who was cut.
And she thought it was a birth defect, apparently.
I missed all the fun stuff, apparently.
And also,
I laughed
guy
my ass off when she told me that, because I'm just like going, 3 months.
Also, the guy who invented Kellogg, the guy who invented cornflakes, thought that
Dr.
sleep
Kellogg.
and dreams would lead to masturbation.
No, well, maybe he did. I mean, maybe there was something to that, because I remember reading like this psychology paper about how even in some cultures they find like the friggin' cave drawings to be sexy.
What?
So we laugh at people who get off the hentai, but wow, getting off the cave drawing.
Yeah, well,
beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah,
actually, kind of impressive, honestly.
Well,
well, what do you think the cavemen's fapped to?
Well, back in the day, they probably didn't have to. They'd probably just walk up to any female and just do it. That's what I was told in one of my classes.
True.
I mean, the question though is like, there's a lot of animals in these cake drawings. Just curious.
I don't think they were the cars.
They were the first lewds. Basically.
Dude, that was like prehistoric furry porn right there.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty much. Like fur affinity before fur affinity was an actual thing. You just
is that what it's called?
The original DeviantArt is just a wall.
Yeah. By the way, there was this interesting hypothesis on why, like, where do furries come from, and some people apparently hypothesize that this is because of all the cartoons with anthropomorphized characters. So it's learned behavior.
I think there was somebody who did say that. Like, I remember a post online where somebody did say like they got started with some kind of cartoon or something like that. I was just like, all right, cool.
I remember when I was about I was kind of a dumb kid, but I remember when I was about 11 or 12, I was watching the animated Batman series.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was Harley Quinn, and she had this, like, it wasn't her usual outfit, it was like a weird outfit. And like suddenly and then I remember she had this outfit, and then suddenly I thought I pissed myself.
A what?
Well, I thought I pissed myself, and it was like, no. Looking back on it, I was like, nah. Ridiculous, though.
Hey, that's...
Hey. Has returned.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
I remember I wanted to talk about a story that at the beginning of the stream, but kind of forgot about it. So let's get back to it. So, this whole PewDiePie non-scandal.
Oh, okay. I'm back. And by the way, here I have the lesbian Peruvian midgets that are, that only can be seen by our premium subscribers.
Okay. So remember, she said that she doesn't care about what actually saw this happening in real time. But she wasn't bothered by PewDiePie's use of the word nigger, and all the anti-racist and social justice warriors started calling her racial slurs. So
Uncle Tom, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
she had a debate with Destiny.
Yeah.
Nigger.
So that's the offending quote unquote part. So those are her tweets. Oh, by the way, some of those juiciest tweets are not included here because those are. Well, I'll try to find it.
I can get the Destiny ones.
Oh,
hey, I know that chick. She used to be on. Oh wait, she goes to Jeff Holiday's streams about Hidden Colors.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, what'd you say?
Yeah, she was on a couple of streams with Jeff Holiday, watching this documentary by Tariq Nasheed called Hidden Colors, and they were roasted.
I need to see that.
Tariq Nasheed is always funny.
The only thing to answer to Tariq Nasheed, you just have to tell him, "Wash your ass."
So
that's the only rebuttal you'll ever need against him.
These are her tweets about this, and let's see. Just want to remind everyone that those who respond to me mad about Pewds using racial slur called me a racial slur after I disagreed. That's irony overload.
Yeah.
I promise we're not racist. The white people are.
I will come all over your cotton field. What the fuck?
Oh, shit. This might be a troll. I mean, this is too.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah.
Like, would they really say something like that?
Destiny, though. Yeah.
You are disgrace to us black people. Definitely not one of your own. Just concentrate on helping Swansea survival.
I get called a half-breed. But I should have.
Cool level over 9,000. Yeah, it's as if this meme wasn't beaten into the ground.
That's
already.
really fucking old.
Yeah.
Over 9,000. Immense coonery, female Uncle Ruckus. Couldn't say Aunt Ruckus. No, female Uncle Ruckus. Because, yeah, there's no word for a female uncle, yeah?
Yeah. So far as I know, the closest that's available is Aunt Jemima, which is not a historical character. It's the cartoon on the bottle of syrup.
We know, or at least we Americans know.
Yeah.
I got mixed up at some point. I thought it's like, oh, if I was called an Uncle Tom, I would be glad because I make the best rice. And it's like I realized after a while, it's like, fuck, it's Uncle Ben's. Not
Your mind who doesn't know you exist. So you shouldn't defend anyone if they don't know you exist. Okay, I guess.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he knows she exists at this point.
He knows she exists. He knows she exists. He said nigger. He knows black people exist.
So should we not defend? Should we not defend Michael Brown because
and have Trump supporters following you? So if you're black,
fuck.
Yo,
what? Fuck.
Labs, check out the guy's at name Negrolodian.
Negrolodian.
That's funny. That's funny.
Click on my link. He tweeted a burning cross at a black person.
Yeah, Stephen Bonnell. It's Destiny, the one who
Yeah.
debated with our Aryan overlord.
Being black is lit. Lit, you say?
It's fucking burning cross.
And it would be funnier if it wasn't from someone who pretended to be like this anti-racist activist or something, because that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was by anyone else, or at least someone who wasn't so butthurt, and it's like, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
that's a
he
good joke.
definitely is a virtue signaler extraordinaire. So,
I mean, if you're gonna be edgy, but don't fucking lecture the rest of us on it.
Yeah, no, the problem is when you have all these people that are fucking pizza cutters, you know, all edge, no point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like with SJWs, they call me like half breed, reverse nigger, sort of shit like that.
Reverse nigger, what the fuck?
I've been
What does that even mean, actually?
They call you a red egg?
Destiny saying this is the same guy who is pretending to be outraged by PewDiePie.
Right.
This retarded fucking no IQ faggot sitting in mid like a fucking retarded nigger. Yeah, totally great
That
social
sounds like an alt-right one, actually, to be honest.
Oh, the fucking irony.
I got all those comments because I posted a picture of me and my brother.
Yeah, like I remember sitting there seeing this one thing. You had this black guy. You know, he was probably like maybe 17. He's like, "Well, see, the problem, the thing is we say nigga with a A sound, but we have the problem is nigger with the ER." I'm like, that okay, fine. If by your own admission that nigga is okay, then why the fuck you got a problem with anybody else saying it?
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
yeah, I was about to say, you know, the whole point of like that whole article with her, it's just like, okay, we know it's wrong to call people niggers, but then why is it then okay for you people to call, you know, black people who disagree with you on PewDiePie house niggers?
It's okay for them to call white, you know, white cracker, honky, everything that has been known to be a racial slur, but us to sit there and call somebody Negro, oh no, my God, we gotta burn his motherfucking house down.
Me and my brother, we actually made a picture.
You shouldn't go to
us doing the Nazi, doing like the Nazi salute, sort of thing. And I posted it. SJW's like literally jumped on it. Yeah, the caption said, "Me and my brother, Heil Nazi." And SJW's like pounced on it, calling my brother a raccoon, calling me an abomination, and all this shit. And I'm just going like, and you people call yourselves anti-racist.
Yeah.
Like, they were calling my brother a coon.
No, I think the best description was basically it's two groups of white supremacists. One has a guilty conscience.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been no secret for decades that anti-racism is code word for anti-white.
Yeah.
Like, did you see Sargon's recent stream with cancer points, like basically implying that black people are too stupid to figure out birth control?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one.
Yeah, it's basically that. It's the personal agency that's like, what's the? I saw a meme the other day. It's like, 1.8 billion people in India, every single one that is of age has a fucking voting card. Don't tell me it's a fucking race thing. And that country is poor as shit, and everyone who can vote has a voter card.
Yeah. India prides itself on being the world's largest democracy, even though it's.
I saw one video. It was like they were talking to liberals in one place, and like, blacks may not have as easy access to the internet and be able to find things and all. I'm like, wow. I mean, just the crap they're saying, and then they went out to the Bronx. And asked black people, do you have trouble getting an ID? And they're like, you have to have ID. I have mine. He's got his. And asked, what about internet access? Somebody pulls out, they pull out smartphones. It's like, let's see, DMV.
Go to
it's
Starbucks,
like, it's
basically.
4 blocks that way.
Yeah, like SJWs keep going on about, they don't have technology. Like in Africa, they're like, they don't have technology. Yeah, they do. They have laptops. They have phones.
They actually have a completely cell phone-based banking thing.
There's a fucking tribe. Yeah, someone was filming this guy who looked like he was part of the tribe. He literally stopped and just brought out his phone and started talking and just carried on walking. And it's like, really, you still think they don't have technology there? Fuck you.
You know what it is? It's probably because a lot of these people are looking at the what is it, like the donate to charity kind of things where you see like a grass hut or some shit,
right?
And they're like,
you like the ones in the UNICEF commercials?
Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah,
I haven't seen.
Like, all right, hold on, the light's fading. Haji, get back in the mud hole. We need to retake that shot.
Or what was it? There was there was in Alaska. There was a Inuit or whatever the
in Alaska it's Aleut.
Okay, the basically native, and they basically like did a documentary on like native life, and they made him like act like like he didn't know anything or whatever, but he knew he was totally up to date with technology at the time, and so it's just like, oh man, how much of it is real? How much is it isn't?
Yeah, see the difference between between right-wing racism and left-wing racism. Right-wing racism is we are better than you. Left-wing racism is you're not as good as us.
It's
man, you have a point.
Yeah.
Summarizes it very well.
Like Sailor complex as like white man's burden. Same shit basically. We need to stop the minorities because they are too stupid to do it on their own. Like the same thing as like in the 19th century, it was widely believed that like white people are so superior, so it's their duty to uplift all the minorities which are obviously inferior.
Yeah, I mean that's what like affirmative action and stuff was about and everything. And the Republicans have been trying to get affirmative action taken out because we've seen that yes, in fact, blacks can compete in the job market. It's just that the big thing is that people have to apply themselves.
Yep.
Yeah. Being hired from knowing that I've been hired just for true affirmative action and just some fucking quotas, I would be just so fucking insulted.
Was like I wanted to do animation in my college, and they got rid of animation. But they basically signed me up for game design, which I'm not qualified to do because I haven't learned anything. I haven't learned anything to that would help me in game design. They put me in game design level 3 without telling me. Yeah. And it was too late to change. So I had to spend at least about 5 or 6 months basically suffering through a course I barely know.
Yeah.
And I know exactly why. They told me like, oh, well, you want to do animation. No, it was because there was only two girls there, and the quota is 3 or more.
Jesus.
Wow. Oh my God.
I
was a bar back. You know, they used to joke around and call me the affirmative action hire because I was the only person in there that wasn't black. Wow. I mean, really, the reason why I got the job was because I walked in and saw the owner and was like, hey, I just got out of prison. I need a job. He was like, okay, can you lift a case of beer? I'm like, yeah, all right. I need a bar back. Show up on Monday.
Yeah.
And I mean, and after that, I mean, it's like, so people seriously, there's a large number of black people in Atlanta that if you say in front of them that I don't understand what blacks go through, they will tell you that they will tell you that person's full of shit. Because I spent a year, paying the equivalent of the black tax, actually having to work, that much harder so that everybody took me seriously and everything else. I went through that crap. Really, after about the first 6 months and everything, and they saw that, I was actually going to do my job, and they actually started talking to me and finding out that I was actually a pretty interesting person. I mean, I went from walking in the door, I wouldn't have hired me, to the only thing I was just short of manager, where I didn't have the actual position. I was I would actually, be told when to show up to take in the liquor inventory shipments. The only thing I didn't do was sort out the cash drawers and shit.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing is, again, with the affirmative action is if you essentially have boost somebody who isn't doing so well in school into a higher school, arguably it's small fish, big pond. You're putting them in a big pond when they could have gone to a lesser school where they could have done better, arguably.
Yeah.
Well, there is also the corollary to that, though, that some people perform to their expectations. If they're in an environment where everybody expects them to just be a dumbass, that's what they're going to be. Put them around people that are going to expect more of them, they give more. That's how my life was.
My school put me in a very low grade class, because they thought I was borderline retarded. So they took a test on me. Nope, I'm just lazy and bored.
That's pretty much how special education works over here. Is if you underperform, they think you're dumb. It's like, oh no, you're just lazy, but we're going to put you in special education anyway, just so we don't have to deal with the ramifications.
Yeah, basically. So I was still stuck in special education, even though every time they gave me an assignment to do, I did it, and I basically got good grades, where everyone else got shit grades. But I never got moved up. And that's because I actually might have something to do with mental problems, but no, but I could have probably done a lot better if I was in a class a little bit higher.
In my math class,
I had the opposite problem. I had to go to the SPED classes because they didn't have a gifted program up until 6th grade. Yeah. So for the first 5 years of school, I'm stuck with the paste eaters because they didn't know where else to put me.
Yeah.
I was actually in a similar situation because they didn't have any kind of high level special ed, ed for smart kids. They didn't have anything like that until I was in sixth grade. And for the first 5 years of my school, I was just surrounded by fucking idiots. It was painful. It really genuinely hurt.
Yeah, in high school, in my math class, I was the only person there without an IEP. So,
in college, they kind
What's an IEP?
to take an IQ.
An individualized education plan.
Oh
They
yeah, I
gave
know.
me
Oh, yeah.
tests because they didn't because the thing is that I do some weird things. I've got ADHD and I do some weird things, and they thought like there might be something wrong with me, so they did a load of tests on me. And the thing is I told them I've got ADHD. For some reason they didn't believe me. And then like after a while they were like, "Oh yeah, this chick's just got ADHD." I'm like, "Fucking told you." It didn't tell me. And they gave me an IQ test and everything. I'm just like, it's just ADHD. You could have just asked my doctor. I hate my country.
Oh, but they gotta, they gotta issue a bunch of drugs and stuff. Gotta make profits, right?
Yeah.
Now I stopped. I actually stopped taking my ADHD medication because it was making me really sick.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah,
There's a pretty good documentaries talking about how awful some of the medication they give to people with ADHD and how it kind of fucks them up, especially if you take it as like a young kid.
Yeah. The medication they gave me, it caused me to have some really bad psychological problems, but it also caused me to faint every 2 seconds, which where I work is not a good thing. So
Or do they put you on lithium?
Give amphetamine for ADHD, so it's the opposite of fainting. It makes
Yeah,
you
no, but when you're a kid, methamphetamine actually acts like a tranquilizer if you have ADHD. It's the puberty creates a shift where amphetamines become speed for you. But if you have ADHD in certain things, meth basically acts as a tranquilizer.
yeah, pretty much. I was just collapsing from my job the entire time. Again, the job I work at, like, that's not a good idea to collapse. So I had 2 options. I either had to be a guinea pig or just quit, and I just quit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they tried me on lithium when I was like 9 years old after the FDA had already issued a black box warning saying do not ever prescribe under 12 years old. I went toxic below half of the minimum therapeutic dose.
Oh, they couldn't. They couldn't find out what was wrong with me when I was a kid. They tried to put me as selective mute because I never talked to people. But that was just I mean they basically put me as selective mutism. Obviously that's a problem now. And they also had a suspicion I was autistic. But because they couldn't find
hanging out with us does not exactly bolster your case against that, by the way.
Okay, but the thing is that they couldn't find out what was wrong with me, so they had me statemented. And then when they finally found out what was wrong with me, so basically in secondary school, it was like, oh, so I didn't have to be statemented, but you people basically like ruined my chances of getting a really good job anyway. So fuck you.
Yeah.
See,
at least you have the excuse that other people did it. I pretty much fucked up my own life, so.
Yeah. What if people don't know, a statement actually can ruin your life if you're trying to aim for a job that's higher than the minimum wage job, because it makes it doesn't make it impossible, but it makes it like 10 times harder than the average person.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Well, I mean, that depends on what that job is. I mean, like with me doing the costuming and prop stuff, me being a slightly goofball, batshit hyper motherfucker actually helps promote. So,
yeah.
But yeah, pretty much at working for anybody else, yeah, it will fuck you up. You pretty much are stuck either below whatever or working for your own shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is why I'm trying to do this online thing. Is more like I want it to turn into more of like a not like a part-time job sort of thing. Because because my other job, the girls in my job actually complain. They complain. Oh, it's so hard to do. It's so hard to do. And it's like, bitch, I walk around with a cane and I can do it. Like, oh, it's so hard to do. It's so hard to do. Then fucking get an easier job.
And widen the wage gap.
Do they have
Yeah,
Walmart?
I know.
in
I
the
love
UK?
that too. People complain about a lack of women in STEM, so they go and they take gender studies courses to learn about why there's not enough women in STEM. And apparently, the solution is we need more women in STEM. And then
tell you what, women, most women.
I could have went to STEM if it weren't for those meddling men's.
They're the laziest cunts ever. Like, my boss tells them to do something, they do one thing, and then they chat for like 30 minutes while I'm basically busting my ass. They're the laziest cunts ever. Most of them.
Okay, what is the difference between a cunt and a twat?
Huh?
What?
What is the difference? Because I know that in British, in British English, there is actually a difference between a cunt and a twat.
Oh, right, yeah. A cunt means you're an asshole, a twat means you're a fucking idiot.
Oh, okay. One's arrogant, one's stupid.
But twat has a punch more than an idiot, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I've never
Let's
understood that. In America, it's the same thing.
We don't really use the word twat, though.
Yeah, you say
cunt.
No, yeah,
We say cunt, it's just not as often as they do. And then twat's almost unheard of, unused.
Well, I mean, outside of insults, the words twat and cunt refer to the same particular thing.
Yeah, I don't understand why Americans say twat. Because that's just like, that sounds wrong. Twat.
Oh. Maybe it's like, are you sure it's not like part of the act?
Because apparently it's less rude than saying pussy. Which is apparently less rude than saying vagina for some reason.
Over here, if you call someone
I think over here
you're definitely gonna get a punch in the face.
I don't know.
I still figured out why like, dog's dick means very bad, but dog's bollocks means very good. Can anyone explain?
No.
Wait, what?
Wait, really?
Dog's dick means bad, dog's bollocks means good. Makes sense?
Wait, for who? Or where's this being said?
Where would you?
Dog's bollocks, of course it's British.
Yeah.
You mean?
I guess it might be referring to which end of the situation you're on or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, I actually used to know. One of my math teachers was British, and she actually explained a lot of Cockney slang, and that's where a lot of that stuff comes from. Like like butcher is, you don't like the way somebody looks. You don't like their butcher because butchers use a hook, and hook rhymes with look. I mean, some of it's like really convoluted.
Yeah, James. Only Cockney people uses Cockney slang.
Yeah, I know. But she explained a lot of it, and so, that's where some of the weird ones come from. That kind of like filtered into the higher society, from what I understand.
Higher society.
But yeah, I mean, it's like a lot of it's like puns and rhyming stuff. Like, like if you're up to your neck in shit because you got yourself into a situation, you're apparently in Barney, because Barney Rubble rhymes with trouble.
Yeah. Bastard. Bastard is considered.
Do you guys know what is it about the fucking CNN meltdown about boobs?
Wait,
what?
CNN had a meltdown about boobs? Oh yeah, I love free speech and boobs. I saw the headline. I didn't get a chance to read it.
I love the video in question. It's really funny.
I never investigated into this. I was just like, okay, it's a thing. Like, why do I care? But then, there's
a shit ton of memes on poll. It's just like, oh yeah, it's like who would win? And CNN, an international news organization, or a couple of jiggly things.
Oh, good. Did you know Baron Trump likes anime?
Put it on. I've seen this video. It's a real nothing burger, except for the reaction of the hosts, because they really got triggered. So.
Baron Trump likes anime.
Believe in absolutely in the country. Not at that point, Mr. Reed jumped in, berating Mr. Travis for being a bit of an idiot. Ms. Ball.
Of the video itself. Let's see.
Donald Trump is coming for ESPN after one of its hosts called him a white supremacist and a bigot. This morning, the president of the United States.
There's a perception that ESPN.
Keith Reed, former ESPN senior writer who knows and has worked with Jamel Hill, is with us. Nice to see you. And Clay Travis with Fox Sports Radio and founder called out the president as
issues. If you look at their history, they established about 18 months ago that they don't believe their people should be involved in non-sports related political controversies. They suspended and then fired Kurt Schilling for saying that he disagreed with the North Carolina transgender bathroom bill. And that had absolutely nothing to do with sports. And they said, look, you can't have this opinion. It's too conservative. We're not going to allow it. I think that's a bad move. I'm a First Amendment absolutist. I believe in only two things completely, the First Amendment and boobs. And so once they made the decision,
I totally agree with you.
I mean, the fact is, he did not violate FCC policy.
I'm right on board with him.
Okay, keep playing. Wait,
hold on. I just want to make sure I heard you correctly as a woman anchoring the show. Did you say, what did you say?
As a woman.
What, if you were a fucking alien, would that make it better? It's like, oh, I'm gonna be more offended by this because I'm distant.
What about a non-gender conforming demisexual?
Yeah.
Pansexual clownfish.
How does she know that this other dude over here doesn't also identify as a woman?
The only two things I believe in absolutely in the country. And so I don't think Jamel Hill should be fired, but I do think straight up that once you make the decision that you were going to let Kurt Schilling go, that you have to also make the decision that you're going to let Jamel Hill go. I think that's a bad decision. I think ESPN has made bad decisions that have led to 13 million subscribers bailing on the network. It made bad decisions that have led to ratings collapsing. Jamel Hill's television show is collapsing. Ratings were down 20% last week over last year. I think that's why she's angry. I think that's why she went after Donald Trump. She's begging for ESPN to fire her so she can work somewhere else.
Okay. Keith, what do you think?
Listen, I'm astonished at almost everything I just heard. One of the things that, and not just
what were all those words?
Her entire career, and many women who I'm friends with in this business and have been friends with in this business for a long time, is sexism, blatant sexism, comments about her.
Oh my God!
Damn, the fucking vision is not moving, but all I hear is "Get some massa." Whatever you say, massa.
I believe it.
But I believe
it's sexism.
But
look at his face. Do you think he's ever not has he never looked at porn before? Like do you think he's really not looked at porn? Look at that guy's face.
Even if you haven't looked at porn, like a pair of tits before.
I believe in free speech and boobs.
Yeah, so does everyone.
But you're the wrong kind of woman.
When it comes to Colin Kaepernick and all the rest of the football players that are in Hawk right now, I believe that outside of the stadium, they have the same free speech rights as everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
While they are on their job.
Yeah.
Same thing. Just like somebody from Hooters can't sit there and start spouting off political crap on the job.
Yeah.
Anybody else cannot start spouting off political crap on business hours.
Right.
With the exception of like violence, I really if you're advocating for violence and shit like that, you're done. Screw it, fuck them.
I'm just picturing that in my head right now, like a big-titted waitress at Hooters talking about political shit while serving chicken. That visual is quite amusing to me.
The triggering didn't stop there because they will.
So you imagine?
I'm still there too, and I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly.
No.
EOOBS.
I'm
As in boobs. I believe completely in the First Amendment.
For example, the First Amendment does not stop where your fucking feelings begin.
So even say that live on national television, and
why the fuck not?
They have birds in ears.
I say it live on the radio all the time because it's true, and that's what I do. That's exactly what I said.
This is a great marketing ploy for him.
Because he said,
yeah, his ratings are gonna shoot up.
Yeah, because that totally, they're gonna friggin' derail it over that, non-controversial remark.
Talk about that on television because it's irrelevant to the topic. It shouldn't be brought up here. Why not?
And he's going on about it.
It's irrelevant to the topic, so let me rant about it for 20 fucking minutes.
He's
hold
making
on.
a point, you fucking dumbass.
Hold on, guys. Who wants to bet that Buddy over on the left side, Buddy over there, never knew his father? Who wants to bet?
Ouch.
And he's only recently been able to say thanks for the warning, officer.
His expression looks almost like a puffer fish.
Shared the airway before and Mel, who was a personal friend of mine for a long time, and to have
I'm done.
that even
I'm sorry.
to have her
I'm
in
done.
that-
Yeah, too triggered.
That's a double
Whole shut down because
I'm
they're
done.
too distracted by that remark.
That was entirely inappropriate, and it just took me. Forgive me that it took me a second. It's like live television happens, and you think you hear something, but you're not entirely sure, and then you.
Yeah, because she's fucking slow. Not.
Yeah, this is like the perfect place to cut in the. Oh, that sucks.
I can't believe that.
I have this meme.
Like he says a joke, like a little joke, and then they just blow it way out of proportion.
Oh no, that's
enough to freaking cancel the entire
You should actually size it so the head matches up.
As it happened, so I apologize for him in that. Let's move on.
It's probably the most interesting thing that's happened on the show.
Jesus, if that was a double triggering.
That was
God, yeah. Oh no,
That was glorious.
This kind of crap is bad. We got people. But there's a convention called Rose City Comic Con that has actually banned Red Skull costumes. Because Hydra was a Nazi organization. I got a shitstorm going because I said, well, seeing as Captain America is by canon a Hydra agent and therefore a Nazi, doesn't that mean that Captain America costumes should also be banned?
And then they block you.
People got pissed. It's like you're going to ban a character that has several costume variations that have absolutely no Nazi symbols whatsoever. You're going to ban the character because they were a Nazi. But Captain America's a Nazi, but it's okay.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, let me see if I can actually find the Rose City Comic Con statement.
This is why I like the anime community a little better, is because they're actually a lot more right wing than people think. Like they're well, the anime community, let's put it this way: the anime community loves Trump. The anime community takes jokes. And
then again, it's in Oregon, so why am I not? Why was I even surprised?
But they had an anime where it's basically like fan service, but girls in Nazi uniforms. Like the anime community, even though they do have the odd SJW, of course they will, but. Like, have you seen anime? Like, have you seen Akira? Have you seen Ghost in the Shell? Have you ever seen any fan service?
Yeah. Well, Japan is a pretty right-wing country. I heard their two main parties are actually two right-wing parties.
Where in Japan?
Yeah, Japan.
Yeah, they're pretty conservative. Well, conservative. No, it's weird.
It's
They
like,
don't
it's like the thing is that SJ, like that's the thing. If you go into an anime convention, you
Yeah,
don't have that
here's the,
shit. You don't really have that shit though because no one cares. And if people care, then the thing you do is ignore it really, because
Yeah, I remember.
everyone who goes to anime con are introverts, are shy introverts. So the majority.
Yeah,
of
is
them.
everybody seeing this?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. Hateful symbols aren't welcome at Rose City Comic Con. Historical costumes can be great, but reminders of unspeakable atrocities are not appropriate. This goes for Old School Hydra and Red Skull or any other Nazis from entertainment properties. Those figures, while comic related, are still very much Nazis. This includes any sort of ironic or satirical costumes that reappropriate. I was, oh my God, you know, when I saw reappropriate in this thing, I was like, I need to find out if Anita fucking Sarkeesian is on this board.
I bet the Nazis
banned from that year's convention. You will be banned from coming to RCC for life.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like there was a thing about Baron, like it was a parody account. It was a parody account of Baron Trump, and it was saying how much he loves anime, and so many anime fans came up with like these little memes of one of us.
Right. I'm actually surprised they allow prop weapons, to be honest, with the way that they are.
Yeah.
Wait, before I change.
That's part of the reason why I like Dragon Con, is because they make it very clear that it's like they don't like, you know, Nazis and whatever else and all, but if what you are doing is legal, then nobody has the authority to tell you shit.
Yeah.
James, I'm sure the firearm prop is going to be next. That's going to be the next one of the fucking chopping block.
I know the Nazi characters in Hellsing Ultimate will be banned.
Well, yeah. They said anything that resembles a Nazi.
So that means no keck either. Absolutely no keck.
Yeah, but I mean that means that if it is a Nazi character, yeah, because they even said that very clearly in the policies, that means Captain America must be banned. No, and that's the thing too. I mean, that was part of the reason. Like, people were sitting there talking about, like, Jason David Frank was like the center of the controversy because of Phoenix Comic Con, and somebody going in there, and I mean, the guy was making announcements that he was going to kill Jason David Frank or whatever else. I mean, this was not exactly some random psycho who just up and went. You know, I mean, he was pretty clear about his intent. You know, and people were sitting there and trying to say that Jason David Frank was saying he didn't want props and he was going to get props banned from Dragon Con while he was there or whatever else. I got a photo op. He's actually holding my wife's lightsaber, for fuck's sake. Okay, the guy, you know, the guy is not trying to ban prop, but everybody was saying he was so that they could try to tag a celebrity on their own fucking agenda.
Ridiculous. Like I'm surprised that the I'm surprised that the, you know, nerd community, so like, well, the community for at least comics anyway, are returning so SJW these days, because like, well, I thought they would be the furthest thing.
Yeah. No, but they have to get their grimy little paws on everything that they don't already have like a foot in the door about. I mean, that's why they were so hell-bent to get into the gaming press and the gaming community. Now they're targeting pretty much every other facet of nerd culture, because that's pretty much the last of where they have any.
Well, yeah, because the SJWs basically think that the nerd culture arena is going to be where they're going to find like the, you know, instantaneous, everybody's on board, because, well, nerds are subjected to harassment and everything by society, so, you know, they're gonna, you know, And it's like, nerds are like, I'm sorry, you're going to tell me I can't fucking bring this to a goddamn convention? This is
Wait,
a
what's wrong with
fucking
that?
Frisbee, but because it is a prop weapon, I couldn't bring this to Phoenix Comic-Con.
Oh, fucking hell.
That's how extensive the Phoenix, the Phoenix prop ban got was they said prop weapons, period.
Ridiculous.
Why they ban prop
Arizona's
weapons so that
right.
people don't bring real weapons?
Yeah, and the thing is guess what the policy was when the doors opened that year at Phoenix Comic-Con? Guess what the weapons policy was?
What was it?
Actual firearms were allowed if the bolt was removed.
Shit.
Up until that point, actual firearms rendered non-functional for the duration of the convention were actually allowed to be carried.
See, this is precisely why the SJW social justice shit will never take hold, because it's so restrictive. People just like literally why.
You just have to wait until they restrict someone that people love, and then they're gonna abandon it.
No, that's the thing, is that like enough people on the Dragon Con boards made it very clear that if Dragon Con went and pulled the same weapons restrictions as a lot of conventions do, they would stop going. I mean, people are voting with their dollars. The only reason why like Comic-Con could probably get away with it is because Comic-Con is such a fucking like status symbol, because they limit the friggin' badge sales.
Yeah.
And by the way, the attendance numbers they give off, their actual attendance is about a quarter to a third of whatever numbers they publish, because they don't count the number of people there. They count turnstile clicks. So that means if one person goes every day, they count that as 4 people in attendance. And if that person were to go out for lunch and then come back, they would count that one person as 2 people per day.
Damn.
Damn.
Yeah. Now the numbers that Dragon Con gives, that's the number of 4-day badges. So when they sit there and they said they had like 80,000 people this year, the actual number that attended was closer to about 120,000.
Shit.
Because they don't count people going through the door. They count assholes walking around in that fucker.
It's like the steampunk.
Count noses.
It's like Steampunk Festival. There was they made a new rule saying that you can't show up with any you can't show up with any like actual metal on you, which is stupid considering what steampunk is. And barely anyone showed up, so they basically dropped the rule because they lost so much money because no one showed up, because they were like, well shit, we're steampunk, so of course we've got
most people use like watch gears and whatever else at least. And if I like they were talking about no metal, period. So if you had a watch gear on your hat, that would be in violation.
Yeah, pretty much. Like and like a lot of steampunks actually just didn't go, and so they lost so much money, and they dropped it the year after, because it was like, they tried to ban prop guns as well, but then that didn't work because again they lost so much money doing that. So yeah, all restrictions they tried to do with steampunk, it just didn't work because we're such a small group that if you try to put restrictions on us, we're just gonna go. We're just gonna go somewhere else. That's the thing.
Yeah. See, a lot of conventions, this would actually be considered a dangerous weapon. Yeah. This little thing.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah,
I want one, actually.
Yeah, $10 on Amazon, and this entire thing is nothing more than a coiled strip of metal.
That's awesome.
Ah.
And what I love about it is that, like, I was actually walking around at night at one point, and somebody was sitting there and friggin' trying to aggressively panhandle. I sit there and took this fucker out and was like, popped it out on him, and he sit there, he backed off because he thought it was an actual weapon.
It looks like the Rangers in
You actually could poke a motherfucker with this sucker. It is strong enough to do jabs with. You just can't hit because it'll fold in half.
Well, like I went to, it's like when I went to a convention, you can't have any like obviously anything like big metal things like this. But the problem was it's my walking stick. I need this.
Yeah, it's a medical device, so they couldn't say anything.
Well,
yeah, it's kind of like a service animal.
Well, they tried to say it was a weapon. I'm like, are you blind? It's a fucking cane. You know.
It's not a club.
So they said, oh, okay, then try and walk with it. So and luckily my leg was actually really bad that day, because normally it doesn't look bad. But luckily my leg was really bad that day. So I tried walking around, yeah, and everyone was kind of just tutting at them because it's like, well, you made a disabled chick walk without her cane. That obviously looks bad. So they kind of just gave it back to me.
I mean, you should just fell down anyways.
I was tempted to. Actually, I was tempted to. No, but they fucking tried to do that to me, and I was like, really?
Yeah.
No, they tried to take this off me. I was like, fuck you.
That's not cool.
I don't know. I'm really impressed by just like how the free market has basically just fucked so many of these people. Just
free market delivery.
That's why they don't like free market capitalism, because
they
know their ideas are unpopular. Nobody likes them except for themselves.
Yeah, Project 50, anybody?
I mean, SJWs are to the left what the Christian right is to the right. Nobody likes them except themselves.
Yeah.
What is Project 50?
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, what is?
Well, it's called a video game because it's on computer.
Uh-huh.
It is an abortion of code in visual form.
I
was introduced to the first time I was on the stream.
You know, those
Project. So I'm looking it up on YouTube right now.
Those Comic Cons should be ashamed of themselves, because my brother is a brony, and I've been to like brony.
I'm like pulling up everything but Project. I'm pulling up like everything about like homeless projects and whatever else, but like not about the actual game.
Yeah. Well, my brother's actual brony and all that stuff, and he brings me to like BronyCon. They're actually a lot more lenient than Comic-Con.
Damn.
You should think about that.
Well, I mean, yeah, because basically, like the whole like the brony culture, outside of the fact that it has way too many guys interested in a kids cartoon
for girls.
Yeah, that it's like their culture is built up around acceptance and non-aggression and whatever else. So, it's accept the fact that if you are causing a problem, they will get very aggressive. That's the other thing too.
That's the thing. They let prop weapons in and all that shit. Like they do search you because there are some psychos out there who does attend to attack these people.
Mm-hmm.
There's this whole thing at the moment that bronies are pedos or some shit. It's not true, but that's the only violation you have is someone texts you for a fucking knife. That's it. That's the only thing you can't have though. Like actual knives. Everything though, props, fine. It's completely fine. So, like, I think Comic-Con should think about the fact that like BronyCon's doing better than them.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that like the whole thing about Comic-Con, like the actual Comic-Con itself, not everything it calls itself.
Yeah.
Comic-Con is not a convention. It's an industry trade show that they let the general public into.
Well, because I heard you can't technically trademark the name Comic-Con because it's just short for comic convention, and literally anything.
Like
anyone
there's
can call
certain
themselves
forms
Comic-Con.
of it that are trademarked or whatever else, but it's like really weird thing. But basically, yeah, Comic-Con is not a convention. It's a fucking trade show. It's where they sit there and they let the general public into a convention hall for 3 days of pushing their latest movies, the latest comic books, the latest collectible dust-catching crap.
Huh.
You know, the people there, they're not fans that are the lifeblood that even is the reason for the damn thing existing. They're a bunch of fucking wallets floating around that need to be emptied.
Yeah, I mean it's business. Yeah, pretty much.
That's a shame. I mean, like at least in Anime Con, it's
But yeah, Comic-Con is a 3-day commercial.
At least in Anime Con, like they actually make you feel welcome and shit. Like they actually have like free games that you play, and of course you get to see like early releases. Sort of thing. But it's stuff that like that's actually really really good. It's not fucking let's say this. It's not Sword Art Online crap. It's more like No Game No Life quality.
Yeah,
they show you.
They also the difference between like Dragon Con and Comic-Con as well is like if you have a Doctor Who panel at Comic-Con, that panel is being run by the BBC. It's being run by a corporate group that is putting that together for the panel. Dragon Con, on the other hand, they have a Doctor Who panel with they actually had Matt Smith. They actually had the chick who played Amy. I can't remember what her damn name is, like Jillian something or other or whatever. I cannot remember the chick's name. They actually had Alex something or other. She played River Song. They had John Barrowman there. These people come because somebody who lives in Atlanta that likes the shows on BBC actually runs BritTrack. They are not industry connected. They are not part of whatever. They are a regular person in their regular days who runs the British entertainment programming at Dragon Con.
So that's the thing. That's why I like Anime Con so much, is because it's like ordinary people get to sell their art and all that stuff. I got doujins and hentai art from these places from normal people who just make these awesome things. I mean,
they do it for the love.
I got a couple of Neon Genesis pins from one vendor a couple years ago, and they're custom made, and I thought they were like the most bitchin' things ever.
This is a manga. The manga I bought, I can't read it because it's in Japanese, but it was independently made by the person who sold it to me.
Oh, so while on the
they marketed you their own product.
Yeah.
While on the subject of anime and Japanese animation and that kind of thing, I have a present that I would like to share with all of you guys in the chat. It's for any of you who are into metal. It's like a symphonic folk metal rendition of an anime theme song, which I've never actually seen the cartoon, but.
Okay. Yeah. I think I've seen this.
Yeah, I'll do it. Although I like black metals.
See, also another difference, if you go to Comic-Con, you see the Blizzard booth, you see all of these different company booths. At Dragon Con, you walk around to all the exhibitor areas and everything, every table that's there is one of the bands, one of the guests, people who are actually there. There are no corporate sponsored tables.
Thing is, yeah, I kind of want to go. I kind of want to go DragonCon now.
Well,
Where's
I have
it at?
slots and rooms at the Hyatt for $350 apiece.
Oh, we don't have. Oh, we have a DragonCon here. We have some.
Yeah, it's Labor Day weekend, August 30th to September 3rd, and I have rooms at the Hyatt.
There's a steampunk festival. That's not government owned at all. It is basically a small business. It's more or less. It's kind of like a party, but also small businesses trying to promote their stuff. Because they're not like a massive corporate sort of thing, like really small businesses, like online, like people who make their own stuff. Because I actually got this from a steampunk festival. Let me get it off. It's someone who hands makes food.
Wow.
That's cool.
It's someone who hands food.
That's
It's
fucking
amazing.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really cool.
You can't get anywhere else.
Question. Because like I think steampunk is really cool, but I don't actually know much of anything about it. I know that it's basically based on the idea of like futuristic sci-fi from the perspective of the Old West, kind of.
Pretty much, it's
and I know that's probably a
Sort of.
huge
It runs on
oversimplification.
Steam, basically.
It's the idea that how would technology look if the steam was never replaced by internal combustion engines and electricity. So if the steam technology would evolve into its ultimate form in the future, it's kind of like what people in the steam era would see future like if they didn't know about the...
There's also like different variations. Like there's actually a diesel punk.
Yeah, it's diesel punk is kind of like the next step.
Then cyberpunk.
There's also
So
the different cultures that are into it. Like
Cyberpunk is more of a goth variant, though.
Yeah.
Well, cyberpunk is about the future, and steampunk and dieselpunk are more like retrofuturism. So
the
it's
SJWs don't understand that steampunk isn't racist, basically for this reason. Everything that was involved in Victorian times basically is steampunk. So India, Native Americans, China, Russia, America, I think France. What else am I thinking of?
Persia.
Yeah, wasn't there a steampunk version thing that was set in Egypt?
Yeah.
Steampunk Egypt, ancient Egypt. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Because one thing I know that would probably be one of the steampunk dream is basically a mechanical computer. It exists. It's very old. The plans were very old. It was created, but it was a bit hard. Now with modern engineering, it's basically, that computer can do anything modern computers can do like 200 years before. And just like, if you want more memory or processing power, you just have to add them the same module over and over, piling them up at the end of it, and just like, that mechanical computer could do anything a modern computer can, way before.
Highly ironic.
Play Minecraft on it.
Computer using like electronic computers and CNC machines. That's kind of I don't know, highly ironic.
I actually want like a steampunk gauntlet thing, completely mechanical.
Nice.
So yeah, because to be honest, I actually want because my left leg is failing on me. I actually do want like a steampunk like leg, like mechanical leg, but
prosthesis.
Yeah, but obviously that's not gonna work. So next best thing.
Yeah, having the style. When we're gonna be able to style the prosthesis, that's gonna be way awesome.
Yeah, when we start the prosthesis, then I'll amputate my leg, put that on because like.
Though I'm not a big fan of transhumanism.
Yeah.
It's like I'm okay with replacing the parts, but not ameliorating them.
What do you mean by it?
More the case of like my left leg's just failing on me completely. That's why I need the cane. And it's like, well, it's gonna be useless in 10 years, so might as well.
So real quick, apparently Poundland, I don't know where that's from, but it's got an entertaining name. Poundland is being accused of being offensive and insulting with the name of its own brand of M&Ms. I'll post the link.
What?
Oh, fun.
Mm.
Oh yeah, the
Who is that?
steampunk keyboard. I saw that at one point.
Yeah,
Yeah, it almost looks like what would be like a futuristic typewriters.
Well, that's the
Yeah,
look they
basically.
want. So it's inspired by typewriter. And if you've ever used this IBM keyboard, it sounds kind of like a typewriter. Even
Yeah, I actually really want one of those keyboards.
Yeah, I actually want to get a LED keyboard. To match my mouse.
Yeah,
I have one of those.
Maybe it's not. Maybe the steampunk keyboard is not good for
LED
gaming.
keyboard.
But I think with the
I've got an LED keyboard. You can get them like.
oh my god,
Yeah, mine's built in on my laptop. So what the?
Oh my god!
They're being accused of making fun of mental health stigma because they're cross-eyed.
Yeah, the name and the cross eyes, like yeah. What's the name? Legos removed or at least changed the name of one of their product. They're one of the little Mixel things. They changed its name or even removed it completely because they called it a window licker.
You can get an LED.
Oh my
You
god!
can get an LED keyboard on Amazon for like a £10. I've got one.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like because I've got this mouse.
I have the exact same one.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, this is.
Whoops!
Wait.
He just got disconnected. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Speaking of numbers, remember this one from the 80s?
Some folks don't believe the super fruitiness of Bonkers fruit candy. They learn soon enough.
Is that it's got back and forward buttons on it, and I accidentally keep hitting them.
That's what you get for using those non-standard mice with a lot of useless keys.
Yeah, I was trying to show you.
What I want to do is I actually want to, to friggin' reprogram it if I can figure out a configuration where the back and forward buttons are actually shift and control, because those I use the shift and control a lot in my 3D modeling.
You can remap them. In Windows, drivers should allow this. On Linux, it's probably also possible. I mean.
Well, I mean, mostly I'm just too lazy to actually bother looking how to do it, but eventually I may end up getting around to it.
I was trying to show you my mouse, but you disconnected.
Yeah, because it was like I hit the friggin' back button when I was putting it down.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, this is like the most comfortable mouse I have ever used.
Yeah, they are pretty good.
Oh my god! I mean, like, it is the perfect size. It has like the indents where my fingers just fall. I'm like, I love this damn mouse.
I have a. I use a wireless mouse. It's just like the smallest thing I could buy. It's like, I don't know. I don't like having the bigger mouses. I like when it fits full in my hand.
Yeah, I mean, I know that eventually the LED is gonna burn out in this, but like when the buttons finally go, I'm just going to go and like rip open another mouse and just cannibalize the buttons to replace onto this. Because I'm sorry, I am not going to go trying to dig around and find another one of this mouse.
You can buy micro switches on eBay really cheaply. They are.
Yeah, no, but I've also got like 3 or 4 other. I've got 3 or 4 extra mice hanging around that I could just desolder the switches out and swap them out. I mean, it is really not that difficult.
I don't know if it's possible. What would be fun is completely converting a real typewriter to a keyboard.
Oh, that's would be.
Yeah, that's not hard.
Not worth it. I mean, if you haven't used the typewriter in a while, you'll be surprised how hard it is to type, because it's at least mechanical typewriters. There were electrical typewriters.
It's all mechanical, yeah.
You basically have to.
Yeah, I mean,
you basically have to.
Yeah, even today, I actually have people ask me if I learned to type on an actual typewriter, and then when I say yeah, they can tell because they can hear me typing from across the room.
Yeah, but I think my father still has the use from mechanical keyboards because I
mean, I actually grew up with a typewriter.
Shit.
I can actually. I had a typewriter, but my little brother broke it because he's a fucking cunt. But basically, it was really funny because instead of everyone everyone going like, "Oh, why are you typing on a typewriter?" Because it's cool. I can actually type really fast now because I was stubborn little shit.
Yeah, I actually had, if any of you have ever seen the movie Misery, and you see that big ass typewriter that he was typing on at when he was captured by that chick, that's that's pretty much the typewriter I had as a kid.
You had the same typewriter that Kathy
I
Bates
had this
used.
big ass black lacquer 50 fucking pound clunker.
Fuck.
I had something similar to that when I was a kid, but it didn't last long.
After my grandparents died, we found an old typewriter in their old house, and it was like the most sickest thing. Because it's something I would have never used.
My grandparents died before I was born, but they had this typewriter, and my dad was like, "Here, have it. I don't want it." I'm like, "Okay." So, of course, I abused it to every power. It was green.
My mom had a typewriter. I remember playing around with it when I was 4. I was trying to learn how to type with it properly. It was good times.
I'm sure.
And, I basically typed on it whenever I was bored, and then I just I just basically learned how to type.
You know what was interesting? There was a guy I saw on TV who would make art with nothing but a fucking typewriter. This dude from India.
Oh yeah, the original ASCII art.
Yeah, it was crazy, man.
So that would take real talent to make art with a typewriter, as opposed to the people who do it nowadays with the keyboard messages you see.
I'm sure there's a program that can do it automatically.
Oh, there are a lot of. For example, one of the.
Oh, then they're hacks then.
Yeah.
Speaking of, let me actually show this.
Oh wow, that does look actually pretty good actually.
Let me show this. There's this library called AALib. AA stands for ASCII art, and they bundle a demo for it called BB. So it looks like this. It's all in text. It's not no graphics here. It's plain text in running in. Well, YouTube compression fucks this up completely, but it's. Let me try to put it on 1080p. Maybe it should look better. A lot of small text, YouTube really fucks it up. But it can run in a console, so it doesn't require any graphics. It's just plain text. It doesn't look that promising right now, but trust me, it gets better.
Just put it green. It's the fucking Matrix.
Yeah, that's what everyone was thinking.
And actually, it's a first color. It's all in plain text, by the way.
My God, it's Jefferson Airplane.
I'm gonna get going because my kid's starting to get riled up, and we'll try to settle his ass down. I'll talk to y'all next week.
Later.
Bye.
He left before we said bye.
Cool. Oh, we lost someone else.
We're dying.
Oh, we lost Crush. Oh.
Hey, that's Space Invaders.
Yeah.
I like how we crashed. and blow up everything. It's kind of like those demos that were popular in the Commodore 64 days. Well, they're still popular. Some people make new demos on Commodore 64 still. Yeah. Like this one where they have Trump and the space alien being deported. It's funny. We got the idea of it. It has some like 3D rendering with text. It's not even the crazy stuff because you can. There are ports of Quake with AA-lib.
I wonder if a sort of cyberpunk. I wonder if some sort of cyberpunk exists where they never went further than, say, a Commodore 64 or just text-based computing.
Quake and text mode is not great. Let me say it.
I'm gonna go.
What's that?
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna go bed.
Good night, Misty.
Good
night.
Yes. We're losing
So
people.
what is there? 5 of us left? 6 of us?
Yeah, well,
That's more than usual.
Yeah, today we had like 9 or even 10 people at the height, so it's pretty.
The height
We've had
was at the
10
beginning.
different people, but how many people can fit in the hangout?
That we didn't devolve into complete shitposting somehow. Usually, when we 10 people, it's never a good thing. But now,
well, we devolved into just not the subject or just.
Yeah, we went off topic a lot, but
compared to how usually it goes, it's. I remember the biggest shit show was when we had several. Oh, it was a long time ago, back when I had this old shitty webcam. Yeah, one of those was. Yeah, this is when we received this unofficial title of the most autistic live stream on YouTube. What's the guy's name? I don't remember. Well, we had two. There are 2 people who should never ever be on the same live stream together, because when they do, it's too much, even for a 4-hour stream.
Yeah.
So, it was great, but right now it's really not nearly as chaotic as it used to be. So we're improving, which is great.
Yeah, I thought I could be doing it from my medals, but I think I'm just gonna fucking make a clay model of and I'm just gonna paint it silver.
Do what you gotta do. When you set up the Discord server, how long ago was that? How long ago did you set up?
He was asking how long the Discord server's been set up.
Oh, well, several months, a couple months maybe, not that long ago.
And I'm guessing when you set that up, that's where we started seeing, a lot more. I guess it was easier to collect people.
Well, not exactly. There wasn't a big change there. I used to communicate with people on Facebook, but then when I got banned too many times and a couple of my accounts got perma-banned, I decided fuck Facebook and decided to try this. Actually, should probably use Discord more.
I remember about a year ago, one of my real-life friends actually shared something from your original Facebook page. I'm like, holy crap, I know him.
It's a small world.
Yeah.
Speaking of those Commodore 64 demos, I was talking about this one. It's obviously a new one. So people still make them, even though it's ancient machine by these. It's like 64 stood for 64 kilobytes of RAM, if I'm not mistaken. So
no, I think it was just 64-bit.
Oh, it wasn't 4-bit. It was 8-bit computer still. Actually.
Oh yeah, 64K of RAM. No way it had 64K of RAM, not at that point.
It was an 8-bit. It has the same CPU as a lot of other computers, 8-bit computers at the time, I think. Let me see as well. Okay, here's a Wikipedia article about it. It was from 1982. It was an 8-bit computer. What kind of CPU did it have? Oh, it's a 6510 or 85. It was quite popular.
Oh yeah, 64K of RAM.
Yeah, this is the same corporation that made what's the name? 6502, or was it? It was a Motorola ripoff, but changed enough not to be infringing on their patents. It was used in Apple II. It was used in other old home computers, 8-bit ones, and this is probably 6510 is a newer version of that. And I'm not very familiar with the 8-bit computer scene, so I've never had an 8-bit computer of my own, so I'm not. It might be a bit vague on some historical details, but yeah, it was at the time. It was really great machine because it had at the time decent graphics, decent sound. If you remember, for example, when IBM compatible PCs, the first ones, like 86, those were those are 16-bit machines, but still they had the only sound was this PC beeper, which is you can do some impressive stuff with it, but it requires a lot of clever coding. It had text-only black and white graphics, the first ones. It wasn't until CGA came along when color graphics. So yeah, it's funny how the machine managed to win the war. It started off as really inferior. It wasn't supposed for home use. It was for business use, and so at least today I didn't blame anyone for derailing the topic, because now I'm doing it myself.
Yeah, just talking about this arcane technology.
Well, I would say arcane per se, more like the golden era of computing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that the golden. The interesting part is that right now PC gaming is more popular in Europe than in the US, and it might be because of how popular the PC, those old home computers, 8-bit ones, were popular in, especially in the UK, like those Sinclairs. Sinclairs were crazy popular. Well, I don't know about the rest of Europe. They were really, really popular in the UK, and they were actually quite popular in the USSR because those were easily, kind of easy to copy. So there were a lot of enthusiasts making authorized, semi-authorized, and non-authorized copies. So it's interesting. See those 8-bit computers.
I gotta go, guys. I have to get cleaned up and do some homework for class. See you later.
Thanks for being with us.
Goodbye, Betsy.
Yeah. Bye. Sorry, couldn't talk very much.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Sorry, next time.
Well, I think that since people are dropping off, might as well wrap it up for today. I mean, a lot of topics that are off topic.
The off topic.
So who cares about off topic? So let's see. We didn't talk about this topic that Amazon was deleting 1-star reviews for the new released book by Hillary Clinton. They talk about that because it's Amazon was founded by the same.
I mean, were they verified, or because if they're not verified reviews, then okay. But if there were
But yeah, did what's the name? It's about books too.
Trump happened. Look in the mirror, Hillary.
It's basically what happened.
Make such a da.
Oh, Glebs, that stream I sent you, that was bananas. That was fucking bananas, dude. You know that guy that Jim was talking about? He was known as the Nuclear Gamer.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, the guy admitted that he had violent tendencies and he wanted to kick children.
Wow,
just like his friend Ross.
So basically, it's a shit show in progress. So
that was brutal. Someone actually doxed the guy, and they were actually they actually told him. The guy was actually saying that he was gonna kill himself on live, on the stream.
And nothing would be lost.
Was he gonna do it with the butter knife?
No, he was gonna drink half a bottle of Febreze.
Febreze. I don't even know if that would kill you.
Probably would because of those chemicals. What's he trying to do? Out meme Amanda Todd?
No. That's not even the craziest part. His bitch, I mean his friend Ruby, was also in the Discord.
Gee.
And she was defending the guy.
Well, how are they going to stop Mr. Medicare now? If they're dead by themselves.
Dude, Mr. Merkel was actually streaming that shit. He was in the stream. The dude was.
I know.
It was insane. And then there was the aftermath of what happened as well. Whew. Oh, Bless, you were talking about the one-star reviews. Sorry about that.
Yes, the one-star reviews. I've read somewhere that they delete even the verified purchase reviews that were 1 star.
Yeah, if they're doing that, then fucking hell, man.
I mean, it's Amazon we're talking about. Amazon was founded. Oh, we lost.
Oh,
we lost Dr. Lou.
4 remain.
Let me find this. Yeah, this guy was the founder of Amazon. The owner of Green Washington Post.
2013.
Any surprises?
Does that sound better now?
Oh, so he owns.
He's back. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
The CIA guy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, those CIA niggers.
CIA.
I'm sorry, Jeff, but Trump is a big guy for you. Yeah, that's totally not an ancient meme. So the readers on Amazon, meanwhile, are even more divided, but not alone have read the book. Well, they said that they deleted only the unverified purchase, but okay, let's see. What do they say? Yeah, one-star review, which remains on the website. The writing reads, read all the promotion excerpts, which combined come close to the book length.
Wow.
Oh, shit. Oh, God.
Holy crap.
Usually delete reviews, but they did this for Megyn Kelly's book, and now for this book. And it's in the pattern here. I see the pattern.
Wait, they didn't delete for Megyn Kelly? Or did they?
One-star reviews for Megyn Kelly's book, which, well...
Oh, okay.
I don't know who the fuck would read this shit, because judging by what she was saying on the show, if she wrote that book, it wouldn't be anything intellectual, because, you know, she's stupid.
Again, back to, yeah.
It's not like she was hired for her thinking capacity or anything. We know what Fox.
Isn't she going to MSNBC now?
Yeah, and well, she always was this conservative in name only. She was just closeted. Well, I wouldn't call her SJW, but she's almost like an SJW in some aspects.
She kept her political views well guarded for the longest time, and then I wouldn't say she's an SJW. She's definitely a liberal, though.
Yeah.
The thing is, if she actually went on to like some news thing and got a gig there, I would actually be happy, because right now she is trying to she's trying to be like the establishment within the Democratic Party, i.e. she's trying to be the power behind the throne. I'm just like, no, fuck off. Just fuck off.
Really, and a lot of like members of the Democrat Party, when they aren't, when they can comment anonymously, they say that she should probably go away because she's destroying the party, as if the party doesn't have any enough problems outside of her.
Yeah, I mean, the Democratic Party definitely has a bunch of problems, but like Hillary is one of the big ones.
Yeah.
She's a significant problem.
Yeah, mostly, yeah, like after the election, you know, even Bill Maher's like, I don't ever want to see you again, so And yet here she is, still in our midst, long after the election. And I pointed out, even though Barack Obama is no longer the president, we haven't really seen much of him since he's been out of office.
Yeah.
But we've seen more of Hillary, who instead of Obama, who actually was president at one time.
Yeah.
Like, you lost, go away.
Go back to the fucking woods. Ugh. Jesus.
I like that there was a photo of someone in the bookstore put this book in the fiction section.
Yeah.
Maybe I should find this picture. It was the basic. No, I think I shared it on Twitter sometime. You know, I share a lot of shit on Twitter. You know, it's bad that you cannot. There's no easy way to search through your own. Oh, you can actually try.
Yeah.
I don't use Twitter, so.
Yeah. Well, I don't post on Facebook anymore. I should post on Twitter, because at least on Twitter I don't get zacked for like, Hitler posting. And without posting Hitler memes, what's the point of having a social media profile?
Yeah.
The thing is, I actually, I for the first time I actually ran into Facebook blocking. I was trying to send a link or whatever, and it's like it's disallowed or some shit. I was like, wait, what?
Sometimes the links are like Wikipedia pages that are in this block for some reason.
Yeah.
Like the algorithm.
One of my real life friends, you know, he got blocked for not like a whole 30 days, but for a couple of days, just because I don't know. Back when the whole controversy about Trump not allowing transgenders in the military, he like said a post, you know, he got docked or banned, you know, because I don't know, one of his posts he actually put down the word trannies. It's like, oh my god.
Oh no.
There was a list of
how will they ever cope?
I'm actually surprised I haven't gotten stuck for
automatic. Some people got banned for the stupidest shit. It's like once I got zacked for sharing an article about a man who got zacked for liking faggots. Faggots being this British meal.
Yeah, it's basically meatballs. It's like it's called faggot.
Yeah, well, back when we were talking linguistics, you know, it's pretty funny how, like in the UK, you know, fag is used for cigarettes. So
yeah.
So we're
this is funny because
can you spam that fag, please?
This reminds me of in Russia, this guy, this activist or whatever, got arrested. He posted a story about him getting arrested, and then he got arrested for that. It's just like, what the fuck?
You know what we haven't talked about? About how far Thandi had fallen, and his recent.
Yeah, I mentioned that was really depressing to talk about.
Yeah, it's really sad because remember when he was really this? Oh yeah, how dare they politicize tragedies and all this shit? And then he makes a video laughing at Milo Yiannopoulos allegedly losing his house to a hurricane because Milo is a.
Oh, he made a video on it?
Yeah, well, he used it, and it was very long. The video, it's like, get on with it.
This is one of those.
It's like when
like, why does he think that making the videos really long and drawn out is better for him? Maybe he's trying to fit in the new metrics is that your videos are more likely to be recommended not by the number of views, but by the amount of time people watched. So if they watch like 20 minutes of your hour-long video, it's better than if they watched the whole 10 minutes of your 10-minute video. So it's not the percentage that matters, but the raw number of minutes watched.
It's full-on watch time.
I make really long videos, so I should be covered.
I mean, the thing is, like, in some cases,
I'm
like,
fucked. I do minute-long videos. I'm fucked.
If it's a long video, sometimes I'll just like play it in the background. So like long videos are okay as long as you know, like it depends.
That's what I do with other streams. I usually leave them on in the background if I'm working on something else.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that the Thunderfoot videos shouldn't be that long because he doesn't use this time to do anything productive. He repeats, reuses clips from his older videos over and over again, and there's half an hour long video which can be condensed in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, usually, he's really, there's a lot of the condensing he could have done.
I mean, to be honest, I haven't ever since the Sargon Thunderfoot thing. I unsubscribed. I haven't like really followed him except for on like Twitter, maybe occasionally.
I'm still subscribed. I still watch his science videos. They aren't too cringy.
You're not missing much.
I mean, I liked a couple of his post, Fallout videos with Sargon, but even like as I was talking, last night with Glebs, the science videos were his only saving grace. But more recently, some of his more recent ones, he gets shit wrong all the time, and he doesn't even bother to like address this.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is,
What thing is doing in the morgue with that thermometer, checking the body or not?
Just like he's just waiting to just like, okay, is the body cold? Is it cold yet? Just
he's
cool.
a minion for the tall man now.
Hold on.
Is Phil necrophiliac now?
Maybe he always was.
The other thing also is like one of the other reasons why I was unsubscribed was just because it was a bunch of like the fake he was like debunking like Kickstarters and stuff like that. And I was just like, it's just like, I don't know, it just didn't interest me anymore either.
Well, some of them were good, but
I just posted I put the video. I put it down. It's just that.
Like, what was that project they were doing in the Netherlands? He like got all uppity about, but it turns out he was off on that.
So what
I think somebody posted it to the server.
or something. Let's watch it.
Into the mouth. Nice.
Now just restart it because it says till it's cool. Just cool.
Just cool. Into the mouth. Nice.
Nice.
That's Thunderfoot with that body. It's like, oh, you can do a joke, Lenny. Just wait with the joke and into the mouth. Nice.
Well,
I should do that, and I did it.
Yeah, I should try to make like YouTube poop sometime because I really wanted to do this someday.
Oh shit!
I used to do that on my old channel.
Oh, nice. Now, speaking of shit posting, well, yeah.
I can't believe he must be really desperate or something.
Yeah.
I've stopped watching Colbert for a while. It's just no more.
Yes, at least since a little bit before the election, I stopped watching Colbert, John Oliver.
Remember back in the day, was Colbert who headlined this rally to
restore sanity and or fear?
He's supposed to saying, I might disagree with you, but I won't compare you to Hitler. Remember this? I think it was Colbert, and now he says, well, Trump was Heil.
Oh, the rally for sanity, that was Jon Stewart. The Colbert rally was a
To
rally
keep
for
fear alive.
Yeah, that was the one.
So how,
And then they combine the two.
That's how the mighty fall.
Yeah, both were done simultaneously for some reason.
The funniest part is that I think there was this picture of him pulling this poster. Was it either him or this other? What's the other guy? With
Jon
gray
Stewart.
hair? Yeah, Stewart. One of them. But they both compared Trump to Hitler. So either of them, one of them is really ironic if they had this. I won't compare you to Hitler. Oh, so some of the pictures from there. No, like. I understand your stance, and while I'm pretty sure you're not a Nazi. Like, yeah.
My God. America, love it. Or let's discuss how to do it. Restore sanity. We're dummies.
It was true back then. It's true. It's true right now.
Okay, quite literally dummies. Subtlety now. Having a sign makes me right. I want my mommy. Ratings don't make you right. This sign is in English. Rally to restore sanity.
And or keep fear alive.
That's the sign my favorite. When I think about Christine O'Donnell, I touch myself. Who's Christine O'Donnell?
You know, the I am not a witch person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. She was in my video I did on basilmarceau.com.
I mean, she doesn't look bad, but
She's prettier than Hillary, so.
At least it's not Rosie O'Donnell. Like when people say nasty woman, it's like, yeah, Rosie O'Donnell, nasty woman.
In Soviet Russia, God creates man.
What? I'm pretty sure that in Soviet Russia, religion wasn't.
Because in capitalist USA, man creates God.
This is stupid. I know what they were trying to do, but they just fell flat on its face.
Oh, look at that sandcastle thing.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
If it's real, because it kind of looks like something.
Oh, it's real. It's real.
It kind of looks real.
It's really easy to follow. Okay.
It's hard to it's hard to tell now these days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's funny.
But work hard on legislation.
You know who else works hard on legislation? Anthony Weiner.
Oh.
You're a Hitler. Don't argue with me. Oh, this is ironic. It's so ironic right now.
I was told they'd be refreshment. This tea party is terrible.
You're Hitler. Don't argue with me. I know I have an overwhelming urge to invade Poland right now. What?
Yeah, because Donald Trump totally talked about the need for more American Lebanese.
When was that rally for sanity?
That was back in 2010.
Because everyone called him the other Hitler. Yeah, they called Obama Hitler.
Yeah, the right-wing crazies called Obama Hitler, and then he was the Antichrist who was gonna, Holocaust Christianity.
Edgy, can you post a link to that one, actually? To that picture?
A link to what?
The picture you had up. Can you post a link to it?
Here it is. The signs. Here's in the chat.
All right, thanks.
Anyways, so it's so ironic that to see the same idiocy that was going from crazies on the right now going from crazies on the left, but like 10 times more crazy.
Yeah.
I still remember that time. Those who were doing this stuff back then were idiots. Those who are doing it now are bigger idiots because they saw it with their own eyes and they mocked it, and now they're doing the same. It's
because they don't have the self-awareness. I mean, yeah.
The thing is like, I don't know. I guess it's just like an American pastime now to call the president a Nazi.
It's an old tradition, so to speak. I have a meme for that.
Yeah, well, even I was reading this article. The one group of people who you never see call Trump Hitler are Germans because they actually lived under Hitler, and they think calling Trump or Obama Hitler would kind of minimize how awful Hitler really was.
Yeah.
That's roughly it. You're Hitler. You're Hitler. You're Hitler. Well, we can't all be Hitler all at once.
Oh, dearie.
Yeah.
The eye with the armband.
I love how they also gave the stash to them too.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Hitler's everywhere.
Also, if Trump's a Nazi and a Hitler, then why is he colluding with Russia then? Because, Hitler tried to destroy Russia.
They're the commies.
Well, I mean, those conspiracy theories are not supposed to make sense, so...
Oh, yeah.
It's the all-time classic. There's different variant of this meme. Somewhere. I have
There's
too
one
many.
where like everything's crossed out.
How big is your Hitler folder, dude?
Okay, this is... I like this one. As a matter of fact, yes, Hitler is my imaginary friend.
And no, you can't come to our tea party.
So there was this somewhere here. Let me find it. Almost. Yeah.
Lots and lots of hippos.
Can't find it for some reason.
Dank Hitler memes.
Yeah, way too many of them. Yeah, can't find it. Well, basically, it was this picture, and it said, "Everyone I don't like is Hitler."
Yeah.
I have no idea what this picture is supposed to be. It's the internet, you know.
He's making a list, is checking it twice. Hitler is coming to town.
I remember when I triggered some really there was this really retarded and mentally unstable, you know, probably close to the SJW, and he got triggered when I said that it was right after the election. Remember when Antifa started going around and breaking windows on the anniversary of Crystal Nacht, no less.
Oh shit!
Got really triggered. Went to my channel, saw that I had this. Saw the title of my live streams, anti-SJW Gangbang, called me Elliot Roger for some reason, because that makes sense. So he got really triggered, and I decided why not, and wrote the lyrics, alternative lyrics to Final Countdown by Europe. It was called Final Solution. I should have seen his reaction back. His reaction was priceless. Because if he was triggered before that, after that, he got this went into stratosphere. This was of biblical proportions. It was amazing. I have screenshots of it somewhere, actually.
I don't remember what that was. It's like, there was a Antifa. It's like, oh yeah, I just bought my first AK-47. It's like, oh yeah, we're preparing with guns. It's like, wow,
Mr.
Dapperton. Tommy gun.
Well, the AKs are pretty good and reliable generally, so I wouldn't.
No. That's the thing. It's reliable. It's made so, and the most uneducated farmer can use it.
Yeah.
That's why I call it a commie gun. It's like, it's like someone from the deepest part of Russia can use it. I'm sure I can pick it up and just fiddle it for 5 minutes, and then it's like, hey, make it run like a fucking Rolls Royce.
Yeah, Mr. Dapperton did a video showing one of those guys, you know, it might have been like the same guy you were talking about. It's just like, yeah, please like join our militia or whatever. We need lots of money and target practicing. I just got my AK-47. He didn't even say 47. He said his AK-47.
Oh,
He didn't even know the difference between a clip and a magazine. Like, oh my God, you guys don't know what the hell you're doing. You really are just a bunch of friggin'
gun they could use that they still use a clip as a Mosin Nagant.
And
Wait,
by
do you guys see?
47? Almost nobody owns a 47 because it's the earliest model. Most of those on the market are like from 74 or later, because the first ones were kind of.
Well, then in the late 50s, they built the AKM, which was a then modernized version of the AK-47. And then they made the AK-74 in the 70s, and then the AK-74M.
It's still an AK. It's a fucking plate steels and smashed together. It's like it's the same thing, basically.
The 47s were they couldn't still. Well, mechanically they were stronger than the later models, but they were much heavier because Soviets couldn't make the folded sheet metal body work properly. It took them a while to make it.
It's bad. Well, for a gun like this, especially the ammo is big, so I guess heavier gun is better for recoil.
Well, if you want to carry it around, you would probably prefer the sheet metal version because it's much lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they switched. That's why they switched away from like the bigger round. They went to a smaller round, just like the M16.
Yeah, and that's because those 740 was it 747, 742, I think. Oh. Yeah, those were too short. too strong because especially in this like combat in the city area, those could just go through walls and lead to a lot of unnecessary civilian casualties because brick walls won't stop like those bullets.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why, and a lot of times if the combat in the city, it's usually they use like SMGs instead of rifle because SMGs they use a pistol cartridges, which not as powerful and don't go through walls, and yet good enough for killing people.
Did you guys see the? Did you guys see the? I think we played it right. The Antifa gym training video or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's so fucking amazing.
Well, guys,
limp-wristed motherfuckers. Wait, here, I found it.
Oh, speaking of Mr. Dapperton, I found a guy this week, and I honestly like the guy's content. He's pretty fucking.
Haymaker's in a ton.
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
So yeah, I'll go try to find the Antifa video where it showed the guy with the fail.
Gym that's starting up now in Chicago. The aim is to establish more networks of self-defense.
We're trying to develop self-defense skills in a political climate that's increasingly violent, especially towards marginalized peoples, people who are not in power, the poor, the oppressed.
We're invested in building material force of resistance against the rising nature of fascism in this country.
Like, what the fuck is this shit?
Hold on. I'm gonna post it. This is what's gonna happen when they're gonna when Antifa just like begin the war and the right wings will have to shoot commies again. Hold on.
Invested in cultivating the capacity.
I posted the link.
Be stronger, because at the end of the day, it's stronger people are harder to kill.
A lot of people think like when you learn how to fight, it's
Stronger people are harder to kill.
About at all. We're here to develop the bodily instincts to be able to react in a situation where we might be put in danger. We believe that we need to start developing these skills, especially as the violence against us, violence against marginalized peoples is only escalating under Trump, right? We want this to be an open-facing project. Everybody's welcome except police and people that are affiliated with strong right-wing groups. We're trying to build a state
like there can't be left-wing cops.
Culture, and have a space for everyone to be able to learn self-defense skills. It's going to be free, donation-based. A lot of anti-fascist groups in the U.S. Tend to kind of stay underground, and so we want to make this kind of politics of anti-racism and anti-fascism much more public and much more accessible to the mainstream. And so, yeah, we're
that cap is your grandma's cap. Give it back to her.
Haymaker Chai at Haymaker Chai. So a number of different folks have already emailed us.
What the fuck are they doing?
What does that do? What does that do? Honestly,
ranking or something.
I don't remember something. They're really doing basic shit. Yeah, okay, abs.
Starting a network
that's doing something. But
sad attempt at twerking.
I mean, do you really think they could top some of these backwoods constitutionalist militias?
Yes, but yeah, just put on mine. You're gonna see it's like this is what's gonna happen for the first battle when they realize the commies are back.
Hey guys.
No, that's not mine.
That's mine.
You call yourself Dragon Lord, and you actually think that's cool. You think that?
I haven't seen this one yet. Oh, so this is their link. Oh, there's no link to the original video.
Because I think he pulled it off a website.
Well, that was, nowadays you cannot even tell if it's like for real or if it's like a parody account because there are so many parody accounts of Antifa, and the real ones are retarded, so you can't tell. A lot of people got, for example, this Boston Antifa page on Facebook fooled a lot of people, especially their videos, even though they made those videos as ridiculous as possible. Like when they said that all male Antifa should resist this toxic masculinity and dress in drag.
Well, yeah, a lot of them you can tell. Like I saw like one that made one post. It's like, how many Trump supporters and journalists do we have to beat up till people figure out we're peaceful? It's like, oh, yeah, that's pretty obvious.
That's officially a joke.
Yeah.
What was it? The other one? It was like I hope people don't spread this one showing that we're beating up journalists or something like that.
Yeah, that totally real Kyrgyzstan Antifa page on Twitter. That's really hilarious. Okay, so yeah, that's. Oh, then again, it's so easy to satirize them because they really make it way too easy for others to make fun of them. So, well, I know it's a really low hanging fruit, but it's still fun to take pot shots at them.
Hilarious, yeah.
So yeah. Well, anyways, well, I think we might as well wrap it up for today.
Yeah.
All right.
So thanks to everyone who watched us, who joined us.
Thank you for having us.
It was
Thank
my
you.
Definitely, thank you.
So stay problematic and see you next week.
That hat is amazing.
Yeah.
So,
If
next time.
it was an SJW hat, I would